Cleaner than I ever would be. It's cooler than Antarctica's weather would be. Damn, I think my swagger is a weapon to me. And dudes don't count you off the record to me. So don't be stepping to me, trying to shake my hand. I'm already the man, ain't trying to make your band. I feel the fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fact that I'm real, just make them mad. I be smoking helium to inflate my swerve. I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every lady wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. 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 You're not really seeing me, dog. Real talk. You feeling whacker than you ever would be. In mind, you think you
better than me. Stop it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, yesterday we were supposed to be doing champagne and things, but your boy fell asleep. So we rescheduled it for today, and so we have some things to get into. Let's play the intro, and then let's get into it. Let's go.
I'm fly, yes, I'm high, yes. Every wanna get to this guy, yes. Go out tonight, I just might, yes. Style cleaner than yours, so don't buy, yes. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair. I'm so debonair, so debonair.
And we are back. What's going on in the candy shop?
Hey, how are you?
I am great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. I didn't know whether or not we were going to do it today.
Yes. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Yes, I sat and waited like, SoDebNair.
Y'all called me, like 4 people called me. I was like, what's everybody calling me? And then I realized I was supposed to be live. But y'all, I was knocked out. As you guys know, I did go to California last weekend to meet with Nola Reed's, the House of the Princess, Barbie's World, and California Cutie for her 50th birthday. And so the California time and the Georgia time has really been like taking me off my schedule. So I don't know when to sleep and when not to sleep. But yesterday I took off for work. So I think I'm back with my regular schedule. Yeah.
And I hate the analness in me, but why are our names yellow? Ain't this you and busy stuff?
Oh. Look, you and busy be doing the same shit.
I just noticed, like, wait a minute. Represent our show. This is our show now. Then I know
that was better.
California, you went and got you another wife.
Let me tell you something. It wasn't California Cutie because she has a whole husband, but let me tell you something. Meeting Nola Reed's, and I'm gonna just brag a little bit. Nola Reed's was everything in the back of
it. I wasn't talking about Nola Reed's. I thought
you were California.
I thought
the actual trip, the trip.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the trip was amazing, but I'm gonna say,
Pause. You was gonna go into a whole speech about
I'm gonna still go there. I'm gonna still go there. Meeting Nola Reed's was everything to me. Like it made me feel like being around you. I said this a lot while we were there. The entire trip. I was like, it's like being around the candy shop for real. Like y'all's energies are a lot alike. Like it's you. You know what I'm saying? And like it wasn't like a forceful thing. Like it was just like we just meshed very well. And like that's how I felt when I met you. And believe me, I told them, I was like, I wish you were here because I would love to see like the 3 of us together at the same time. Like it would be fun.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be a vibe. So
and shout out to everybody else that was there. I'm not saying that y'all would not, but I'm just saying like knowing you and now meeting Nola, like y'all's energy are a lot alike.
They're similar, laid back.
Mm-hmm. Like we're just going here to have fun. We're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna talk some shit, whatever. Like it was just an amazing time. California Cutie, like her family and her were amazing. Um, the trip was great. Meeting Barbie's World was amazing too, and her husband. Because I've seen Barb on Nola's channel. Never knew I needed to meet this lady before ever in my life. Her husband was so great. Like it was good, but I'm a bad judge of character because I thought about the other people who was hanging around and then that I was so. However it goes, the thing is that they were great at this time. So,
Wait a minute, you sped past that real quick.
I know I did it on quick. But no, because I come on and I'll be like, oh, I met these people, they're so great and they're so amazing, and then they turn on you. But I will say that,
Who turned on you? You said then they turn on you.
Sunny days.
Oh, here we go. Can we go to the next topic?
I'm just saying you answered the question, so I'm answering it. But I'm just saying, Barb and her husband were like really dope. California Cutie, her husband were really dope. The time that we had was just really amazing because it was like there was no like mess. We didn't connect because mess had happened, so it was like a time to just have a good time. Nola said he definitely did say the game. You were the only thing that was missing from me.
Oh, SoDebNair, that makes me feel special. But I'm glad
it was a vibe if you were there. Yep, I did.
I'm glad you had Nola there to it's like we're the same type of people. So we need
like your vibe is the same.
Yeah. But I'm saying you too. You just like us too. So
no, well, I know that I can mess with y'all, but I think that because I guess on this trip, I didn't know anybody besides Princess. Yeah. And so meeting different people, I was like, I gelled the best with Nola.
Well, I was gonna say, but you picked up another wife, Princess.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was talking about. The actual wife you picked up?
Well, I think I did, but then my ring is gone, so now I'm saying. What's going on, Julie? Let me say what's up there right in the chat real quick. So what's going on to Patricia? What's going on Nola Reeves? What's going on Miss Platinum? What's going on Chi-Town? What's going on Dina Grant? And what's going on Julie Live?
Hey Julie. Julie Live TV.
July.
Hey, Miss Bernice and
Miss Bernice, I'll tell you this, because DT, I see you too, but let me tell you this, Miss Bernice, we just got to bring you space. Now, let me tell you something, Miss Bernice, because I saw that I didn't get to see what the chat was saying while we were playing the spades, but I saw what you were saying when I watched the playback. And Miss Bernice, you was never kicking me off of a spades table. Now, I played my game and I played my hand and I played it very well.
I'm pretty good in spades too.
Now, y'all be sitting to see, I didn't know that, so that we got to play spades together. Mm-hmm. But y'all was seeing the aftermath of the fact that me and Nola Reeves, what they Chi-Town, me and Nola Reeves was whooping ass in spades, and they just kept on talking to me about them, what their scores was. But I'm like, we never even been in the blind. Let me ask you this: how much? Are you when you play spades? Are you like a spades player? Or do you play for fun?
I'm a spades player. I have the app on my phone.
Have you ever in real life played a blind?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
My spades game is very strong. So
but why would you have to go blind if your spades game is strong?
Because a lot of times if you say I don't have a good partner and we keep getting first of all, he over
bids.
He overbids, mm-hmm. And then we get to a point because online they have sandbags. If you underbid, you lose points.
Which I think if you're gonna play blinds, you should play sandbags.
No, but the thing is though, the blind can help you. That's 200 points if you go blind.
Yeah, so, that also makes you feel like I'm a loser.
And yes, I've gone blind in public, and I'm telling you, my spades game is good. I can win on any game. But
my spade game is top tier. What are you saying? I won every game.
I'm looking at DT's comment. You put it up quick. I was like, who is this? Happy B-Day, Pastor Coochie Pop. So it's her birthday.
If you are 100 points behind, you take a blind to get caught up. No, you just lose. That's what you do.
You don't lose.
You play your hand, and hopefully you make your cards back.
No,
I've never played blinds before.
I don't know.
I've seen it on the apps.
But going blind when you do it on the apps, of course, you can't get any books when you go blind.
Right.
So.
No, that's nil.
No, but you can bid a blind nil or whatever too.
So if you go blind, you can't make books.
On the apps, you can't make books. Now I've seen people
because
go blind.
Me and Nola have another situation that's going on here because they made books.
Yeah,
hey, Mr. Robbins. I thought Neil was the one you can't make the book.
You know, the first book you make, if you go Neil, or if you go blind and the first book you make off of that, that's negative 200 points. Mm-hmm. So, but and hey, Miss Robin. So we might
have already won it. We didn't know, Nola.
Yeah, I play different variations of it, and you got to set the rules beforehand.
But I never play where you can go blind or Neil though. Like in real life, like on a phone, yes. Going
blind means your hands are so bad that you're not gonna make any books. You're betting off of your negative hand. So if they're making books from that hand, then they should have bid.
Right. Nola said it's okay that by the time we left, Cutie had went blind so much she has Stevie Wonder vision and hairline because she went Neil blind like 3 times. I mean, if that's how you win spades, that's how you win. I don't know.
Well, she went blind. Did she bet? So if she went blind and made books, that means she just played without bidding.
Blind and nil are 2 different things because blind is
it's called a blind nil though. Because
no. Nil is just you're not making no books.
Correct.
Blind is I can go blind 6 and then like double it.
Well, I'll say this: when you play on the app,
look, Miss Bernie said blind 5. You have to make those 5 books right. So you never look at your hand. You can't look at your hand. That's why it's called a blind. So you can't. You don't know what's in your hand.
So did they bet books when they were making them?
No, they didn't bid books.
So they were bidding a blind nil. Like I'm telling
you. But Neil is like you don't have any books. Like you can't make no books.
Let me say this, Neil, you don't have any books, but you see your hand. A blind Neil is you're going blind. You're basically going blind without even looking at your hand, which is a Neil is 100 points. A blind Neil is 200 points because you bid. It's 200 points on the apps. I'm telling you, I played.
So what's the difference between Neil and a blind Neil?
The Neil is only 100 points because you've looked at your hand. And so you're bidding a nil because you see you got a bad hand. When you go blind nil, you don't know what kind of hand you have. So if you make it without getting books, that's 200 points.
Oh, she said that they go 5.
Oh, so if they made books, then that was fair. If they bid,
but I thought Neil was like you can't. So on the apps on the phone, Neil is like you can't make any books.
Correct. Neil is 0. You can't make
nothing. And so the job of the other person is try to set you.
Yes. The other person will I've encountered people when I bid blind Neil, their first card is a 2 of hearts. And so they'll try to, I would have to have something lower or my partner actually needs to go play something higher in order to save me from having to put down a heart that's higher than the 2.
I just feel like going blind and Neil is like low vibrational.
No, I think it's high vibrational.
It's very low vibrational. Like if you losing, just lose. Like take your L.
Play spades. If you know how to play spades for real. Yeah.
They did what Auntie Bernice. They did what Auntie Bernice said. They had never looked at their hands when they bet. Yes, they did. Miss Bernice helped them try to win because they still lost. But the thing is that we was making up, but they was like, oh. We didn't lose under 500. I'm like, because y'all bid blind. Like, who does that? Shout out to me and Nola Reese. We never had to bid blind or kneel or any of those things. We won fair and square.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hey, Pink Dynamite. What's going on, Miss Sparkle? She said they went blind and still more than one time. More than one time.
Well, that's funny.
It was an amazing trip. Shout out to California Cutie for inviting us to her birthday party. Well, I invited myself. But shout out to her for having us. It was such a fun trip, to be honest. Meeting Nola and Barb in real life for the first time was dope. I don't really know a lot about Barb, but I learned a lot about her during the trip. Her and her husband. California Cutie the same way. I didn't know a lot about her, but during the trip, I learned a lot about them. They're really good people. Yeah,
I was gonna say I've seen them on Princess's channel, so yeah, I enjoy the content.
That was supposed to. It was everything. It was a very high vibrational trip. Yes, it was. Miss Brittany said, "Y'all look like y'all have." We did. We really did.
Yes, it looked like
Nola kicked it off because Nola made us shrimp and grits.
And I was jealous because I wanted to eat it, and I don't even like grits without sugar.
Me, so we're the same. This is why I love it. I said I was like, I never really eat grits without sugar in it. Like I never do. Even when I have shrimp in it, I will eat with sugar in it too.
Oh no, I eat it with the gravy. when I have
the way that Nola seasoned those grits and that shrimp, I ate the way it was made because it was amazing.
Yeah, it looked good. I was jealous and hungry.
I was about to say something else, I forgot what it was.
That y'all kicked it off. Nola kicked it off with the grits and you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Listen, my mom, my aunt, they eat
butter. Tiffany GT, yes. Butter.
Yes,
We eat it like how we eat cream of wheat.
Oh yeah, and I love cream of wheat. I love cream of wheat. Give me some toast.
Yes, and I like some sausages with mine.
Me too. Oh my God, or some bacon.
Yes.
Listen, this is a wrap for me. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, but my P Diamond said, Nola, what season did you use? Yes, y'all talk about that because Nola's shrimp and grits were freaking amazing. There was some spice in there. I was like, I don't really like spice, but this is okay for me. Yeah. Oh, and then I made the SoDeb mimosas.
Oh.
So they got to have them. Barb, her husband, and Nola loved them. Princess didn't drink any, and not Barb, but Cutie's husband didn't drink any. But everybody who drank them.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to make that a signature thing for any event I ever have because those mimosas are the best.
I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second. I want to take a bite of my food really quick.
Okay. Cream of wheat made with milk is a dessert.
That's breakfast.
Cream of wheat with sugar and milk is breakfast foods.
Oh, yeah.
You eat oatmeal with sugar in it. Are y'all putting salt in that? No. Miss Bernice said to each their own, sweet or savory with salt and pepper. I like salt and pepper with butter. I don't look down on the sugar people. Okay, and thank you. We don't look down on y'all either. I use butter, parsley, crushed red pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Let me tell you something. It was amazing. I didn't know I needed to have shrimp and grits like this until that day. So shout out to Nola.
Good.
Huh?
I said it looked so good.
When I tell you, like, if you would have just ate it, it was good. It was amazing. We had other food there, but I don't think we even remember whatever else was there.
Yeah, the shrimp and grits looked really good.
The way she seasoned it and everything, I mean, it was amazing. I don't like God made her somewhere and shrimp and grits because it was amazing.
Well, now do you want to get to the topics? I guess I didn't realize we just been shooting the breeze.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. We got 19 minutes in. We don't know if we have a lot of content, so we're good. What's the first one you want to do? Let's do OG last. So yes, and she did have cheese in the grits too.
Yeah. So Kanye West, I do want to talk about him.
Okay.
What exactly is going on with Kanye West?
So much. So, Kanye said something about the Jewish people. Hey, what's going on, James? He said something about the Jewish people. Then Adidas cut his contract. He tried to go over to Skechers. They didn't want him there. Then they took his Donda class away. Then they brought it back. At this point, and let me pull up my Instagram too while we're doing this. At this point, are supporting Kanye West? Oh, and then also Adidas said that they were going to still use his replica of his shoes without his name.
I think Kanye West needs to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. I mean, excuse me, I haven't paid attention to Kanye West since he said that slavery wasn't that bad and all of the other stuff. So I'm shocked to hear a lot of this stuff. I know a lot of people were talking about that he should have been canceled when he was making the comments about black people and all this and that. When he said the anti-Semitic comments, that's when he started losing the deals. Right now, that's who has the money. So of course he'll lose all of the deals. But I was done with Kanye a long time ago.
Well, a lot of us were.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about 50 Cent saying, 50 Cent says he's willing to build a school with Kanye after he cools off.
What's the guy in Philly? Dr. Umar?
Mm-hmm.
That's another Dr. Umar situation. That's what I feel like. So, no. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah,
my thing is, you're building a school. What are you teaching? What are you teaching?
Well, what is the? I think the Donda School is like a church thing. So it's like a worship space. From what I've been reading, I don't really know all of it.
I don't need to worship anything that he's trying to worship.
Then you have Bootsy calls Kanye a clown after he apologized to the Jewish community, but not the black community. Does Kanye owe the black community an apology?
Yeah. He said a lot of crazy comments about us first. I think he does. What are your thoughts?
He does. I'm like, you can tell where people's loyalty lies when it comes down to you being canceled, because you gave a apology to the Jewish community because they were canceling. Black people been trying to cancel you since you disregarded us the entire time, but the Jewish community is the one who you thought was okay to apologize to.
Right.
So he does. So I mean, even if he does go back and apologize, you know where his loyalty lies at.
The Jewish people had the money. That's who runs Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. But I don't want people to be like, "Oh, we need to support him." Not for what? He doesn't support us at all.
Exactly.
So then we have another one. Kanye West shuts down Donda Academy for the remainder of the school year. I don't know why I can't click on this. I want to read it, but I can't click on it. Then it says Kanye West offers another apology to an explanation for the anti-Semitic comments. We can watch this one. Oh, wait, I didn't even pull this up. I didn't even share my screen. Hold on. Please hold. How you doing? All right, here we go. Oh, he's still talking. Let me go back.
I'm sorry to the Jewish people that I hurt. It's not about, like I said, I'm not going to hold this apology hostage, right? It's obviously it's about God, but God is everything, right? So what's the point of even having language and being, you can't engineer if you say God, right? It's like, it's God asks us to be judgmental so that you become, if you're a doctor, right? It's your judgment that saves grandma, right? And God puts that in this, like, we have God inside us. We're a piece of God also, right? So I'm going to go specific to a person. That story about Da Vinci alone is enough of a reason for me to give a sincere apology to the Jewish people, because I do believe that there's a Da Vinci Code inside of all of my misspellings and scribbles right here that God wants me to get to the world. And when I'm in my way, if God has set something on me, when I'm in my way, I'm in God's way. Now I can point at other people and say, hey, you guys are in God's way because you're not listening to me. But if I'm in my way, I'm not listening to God. And for me to be a philosopher and a leader, whatever other language, I have to listen to God. So before God, what I will do is start off as a samurai and say, I'm sorry for hurting you. As a Jewish person, I'm sorry for the way that made you feel. And I'm sorry for the entire population of a race that I feel is actually my brothers, because I classify and feel that I'm also connected with Christ in that way, that my people came from Africa in that way. And I can't say it's this exact teaching or that exact teaching, but I feel that there's an important, the sons of Abraham, however we want to word it, right? For us to come together and bring our different talents together to serve God collectively. And he, as much of an alien as I am, he does not cause me, he did not call for me to alienate. I apologize when I say I'm sorry to the Jewish people that I hurt. It's not about, like I said, I'm not going to hold this apology hostage, right? It's obviously it's about God, but God is everything, right? So what's the point of
I can't tell. It sounds like the same shit.
I think it started over.
Yeah, I didn't know. So let me see. Let me stop sharing. Do I have another one?
I apologize if I said I'm sorry.
So okay, let me see. There's another one. Okay, this is from Skechers. All right. So how do you feel about that?
I think he's full of shit. Let me turn on my camera. He's definitely full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes, I feel like we are a part of the body of, he said the body of God, not Christ, but the body of God. But the thing is though, I don't know. I'm just not agreeing with his views. And then the part that irritates me the most is that he is apologizing to Jewish people, but not for the disparaging comments he made about African Americans. And I mean, to be honest, I'm not even waiting for one. Like I said, Kanye, I've been done with him a long time ago. Now I do like his older music. I did see something online where it said Black people, we're so stuck in trying to separate the music from the man instead of just canceling. That's why.
True.
Yeah, so
it's true.
Those are
They've been with R. Kelly for a very long time.
Yeah, so.
And the reality is that you cannot separate the man from the music. The man made the music, and that's what it is. That message that man wants to give you is in every music that he's made.
Because they put all of themselves into that music to make it. So.
I just feel like, I guess when it comes down to this, it's almost like I don't know what to do with Kanye West. And not a space where I'm trying to support him, but like, does he need help or what? Because it's just a lot when it comes down to Kanye West. He's doing a lot, like a lot.
Yeah. And I really wish he would go get some help, because clearly there's something wrong, but nobody is steering him in that direction.
Right. I agree with you on that.
It's a shame. And he's good, but he's not the greatest. And for some reason, he has in his mind that he's the greatest. And I know, and like I said, he still will get his flowers. But I know at one time he was a billionaire, and I guess now they're saying he's not a billionaire, but the man still has millions. So he'll be good regardless of what our opinions are.
Right. I just think that, we're making the decision of canceling him. Like, is this going to actually be a cancellation of a person who we are dealing with? Because Kanye West should be canceled, period. This is my own personal opinion. Let me put on my allegedly banner. So this does not affect you. But I feel like he should be canceled because he's problematic to the Black community, period, in my own personal eyes. Kanye West does not support us. He's about the money. And now that everybody who is backing out, he has Adidas, he went to Skechers, they didn't want to deal with him. And so it's like, I think I seen there was some other companies. Shoot, hold on. I want to say it was TJ Maxx.
It was a lot of them. Balenciaga. I don't mean to eat on here.
See, I didn't even see Balenciaga.
Mm-hmm. And Vita, I'm jealous. I want to see a little snow. I think she said she's in Denver. Yes.
Oh yeah, TJ Maxx, Adidas, George Floyd's family suing him. The Jewish people are suing him. Like, it's just a lot.
Why is George Floyd? Why is that family suing him?
Because he was saying something about David. What was it? Put it in the chat if y'all remember. I'm gonna put you on pause for just a second. Okay.
Okay. I guess he didn't realize I could talk for a little bit. If anybody knows why George Floyd is suing him, I would love to know that. I mean, not George Floyd, but his family is suing him. I would love to know that. I want to hear about the comments he made. I don't follow Kanye anymore, so I don't know a lot of what goes on with him unless it's maybe on the Shade Room, but I'm not checking on him anymore. So Ranting said, he said George died of fentanyl and not the knee on the neck. Wow. Pink Dynamite said he was not murdered. Said George died from fentanyl. OMG. That is very, it's disheartening, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in his mind. Like, how do you go from George Bush hates black people to now black people, slavery wasn't bad, and all of these things that he's saying is just all over the place. I don't understand. I don't know what changed. Oh, go ahead.
Kanye's going through a lot of things. He said George died from
they said.
What is it? What is fent? Is it
fentanyl? That's the same thing I think that Michael Jackson died from.
Mm-hmm. He said died. Oh, okay, so that was the same thing. Okay. Yeah. So the family is suing him. So he's going through a lot of different things. I think Kim has done some things to him this week as well. He did also say he fat shamed Lizzo at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
But I don't understand Kanye. Like I can't blame this on his mom dying anymore. I'm sorry, I just cannot. Are you blaming his mom dying?
What'd you say?
Are you still blaming on his mom dying?
Maybe she was the one to keep him on his medication. But
he's a grown man.
Clearly something is wrong, but I'm laughing at Nola's comment. Talking about that's what happens when you sleep with the cursed coochie Armenian.
He craves attention along with his partner in crime, Candace Owens.
Yes,
I can see that. Ms. Bernice said, whenever he makes his bizarre statements, he is always aligning himself with white conservatives and people who are against the black community.
Almost as if he thinks he's a white man or something. That's what's so weird.
I think he thinks he's a white person. Mm-hmm. Like in his real life, I think he thinks that. That's why he's able to think he can go up against like Adidas and things like this. But he went from a billionaire to like a 400 millionaire.
Mm-hmm. But
now tell me how that makes sense.
It's still money though. He still got some money because
but a billionaire to a 400 millionaire, that's a lot of money you lost. That's a lot of money.
It is.
I will be shucking and jiving all day. Okay. I want my money back. I could not imagine losing, what is it, like $600,000?
Yes, I'll be right back then.
No, that's even more than that, because that's only 600 million, and that's $1 million. He lost I think it was like $2 or $4 billion. That's a lot of money to lose in a day. In his mind, he is a white man, LOL, like Clayton Bigsby from the Chappelle Show. He said white men are the most persecuted in society today, so that should tell it all. Wow, I didn't know he said that. He said he is jealous of Jews because they have the money, and he only black when he needs us, and that's true. That's true. I think that he's trying to win an election. He wants to be the president. But this is the wrong way to go. I mean, I don't think the white people are going to vote for him. He also handed over a good chunk of shares of his company to the cursed who? Who's the cursed coochie? The Kardashians. The Kardashians. Wait, what? But in the chat, are y'all still buying? Did you just see that they were surveying Google about selling Yeezys?
No, I didn't see that.
It's at 500. It's at 500%.
Wow.
But I'm like, if you're not against, so there's a guy. I think I sent this guy to you on YouTube. He canceled his subscription to Adidas because he was like, I'm not buying no Adidas if Yeezy not there. And it wasn't in support of Kanye, but he was saying that's the only reason why he bought Adidas. What's going on with my energy?
Hey, protect my energy.
Oh, that's why he apologized to the Jewish people because he wants to get that money.
Do you want to drop the link?
Yeah. Well, I do, because is Cindy still here? Because I do want to do that because we're going to talk about basketball in a minute. Here we go. Copy. We're about to talk about OG in a minute. So let's get into our next topic. We get to the basketball wise thing. Who was it? Who's next?
You have Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez. So Tory Lanez is on house arrest until the Megan Thee Stallion court date.
And I thought he was on house arrest because of his altercation with August Alsina.
He never was.
He never was on that because of that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's why they put him on house arrest, because he had that incident.
No. He should have been on a long time ago, but now he's on because of the situation. Maybe it's because of August Alsina, but now he really has to sit on house arrest. He should have sat on house arrest a long time ago. You shot a woman in her foot.
Right.
Hey, what's going on, Yvette? I wish August would have pressed charges on him for that. He's a little. I wish he would have too. Give me your phone, laptop, computer. Now, what did Brandon say? Being done. Hold on. Well, if it's half American, curse coochie, and the other half is mediocre white women, curse coochie. I'm coochie. I was telling. Oh. Yes, I was because of August. His lawyers. Okay, so let's bring up Ranting. Hey, Ranting.
Hey, first of all, I didn't say nothing wrong. I was telling the truth.
I didn't see it though just now. It was because of attacking August.
Oh yeah, it was.
I just saw you behind the scenes thing.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not handing over nothing. I told the truth. Okay, it's half and half, both cursed. But you gotta recognize that the other half is mediocre white lady cursed. Okay. With Tory, I mean the man.
And hold on real quick, Cindy. If you're in the chat, please click the link. We're about to talk about basketball wives. So if Cindy is in the chat, click the link.
Oh, and I want to be here for that conversation. But with Tory, like, he has a history of doing stuff. Like Dream Doll, even though I'm not a fan of hers, said he pulled a gun out on her. He was arrested in Florida back in 2017 for gun and drug charges. He
keeps doing stuff.
Shot Meg in the foot. I don't know how many times we got to say that until people understand. He attacked August, attacked him and ran behind security. We saw the video. And if you are a fan of Love and Hip Hop Miami, if y'all remember Prince from Love and Hip Hop Miami, Prince said he attacked him in a club. So it's just like, this is a pattern. Like, Tiny Tot likes to put his hands on people and run and hide like his big sister's supposed to protect him. And that's not the case, sir.
Right.
You they gonna lock you up and throw away the key, and I don't feel bad for you. Sorry for you. Not really.
Right. Hey, Nola.
Hey, girl. Hey,
Hey
sister
cousin.
law.
Wait, I forgot to, come in here and say hello because Deb don't watch the show, but Nola knows. I want to say hello to everybody before I get kicked out, and then y'all run behind me talking about my mama pimping me out. I just want to say hello to everybody
Well, hello, Ranting.
because that's a big thing now. People feel like you don't speak, and even when you do speak, you gotta be loud with it because then they'll say, "Well, it was really low, so it don't count."
So I love the Destiny shade. Nola.
Good evening to my brother, my cousin, and my sister-in-law. How y'all doing today?
We are good. How are you?
Girl, I'm fine. Y'all know I'm at work, but I don't be looking. It's
So,
good being a supervisor and working from home. It's the best.
So
yeah.
I had to check myself from my other laptop to this one.
I'm just gonna go back and talk about Kanye. Let me tell you, Kanye. You wanted to know why Kanye is the way he is. Like he go from George Bush hate black people to where he at now, and that's because he sold his soul to the cursed Armenian coochie devil.
Half.
Mm.
That's what he did. You know what I'm saying? He did exactly in his song. He predicted his future. What he said, and when they get on, then he asked for a white girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Exactly what he did. Now he's aligning himself with the likes of Candace Owens. And what both of them have in common is they came up off of the backs of black people. Candace Owens, when you had an issue, you went ran to the NAACP and they did that lawsuit for you. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
Kanye. You
Oh,
was
she went to
making,
the NAACP.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
She
Go
ran
Cindy.
to them when
he
she had.
ran
Yep.
to
Hey
them.
Cindy,
Hey,
Hey
Cindy.
guys,
See,
how are you?
good.
I'm great. How are you?
Hey,
Good, good, good.
she ran to the NAACP when she had an issue with them same people that she's aligning herself
She
with
doesn't
now.
care about black people though. So then why would she run to
And they
them?
did, and they
This
did
was
a
before.
lawsuit. It was
She
before
was she
his
cared about
time.
black people before now.
No, listen, they, from what I read, treated
Mm.
that girl real bad. They was treating her like she was a black person back in the 1950s in a sundown town, and she ran to the NAACP for a
She
little
was in the
help.
sun downtown.
No, that's how they was
She
treating
was
her.
like,
Oh, I was about to say because first of all, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
wasn't she in
That
Connecticut or somewhere? She was somewhere on the East Coast, I
She
thought.
was
let
from
let
wherever
me
she
But why
was.
would why would black
let
people
me pull
be
it up.
entertaining her though?
Let me pull it up.
She
I
was
don't.
she was wherever she was, and she went running her ass with that stringy hair and that bad perm from
As
way
she
back
should
in
have.
the day. She's still putting PCJ just for me on her hair and not emotions of the updated stuff that we have for our hair. Now she need
Oh,
to just stop that stringy ass
give me 1 second, y'all.
or whatever.
Child, her
But
hair is
she went
fried,
running to
dyed, and
us.
not laid to the
She
side.
went running to us when she needed us. Kanye sold his money to us and sold his music to us and praised us when he needed us to get on. And now that you're on, they did what everybody else do in the proverbial we're leaving the ghetto. Right? Not the literal ghetto, but we're leaving the ghetto and we're moving on up. But they didn't move on up like Judge and Weezy. They moved on up like everybody else who used us to make it, and now that they've arrived, they're too good for us, and we're the epitome of nothing to them. So for me, it's F both of them. And there
Oh,
is nothing Kanye can say or Kanye can do. All of that you crying, oh, they took my kids. Listen, I don't give a damn. Listen, I hope the kids grow up to be somebody. Ain't nothing about the kids, nothing against the kids. I don't give a damn what they do to you about them kids because you saw what they did to black men repeatedly and repeatedly. And you worship that woman like a god. You made her be able to get into spaces that she was not able to enter prior to being your wife. And when she got there and got the status, she did what they always do. She left you.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, yes, did he have the mental issues and was going off? Yeah, but she didn't love you like that. She was gonna leave you anyway, despite of. She was gonna do what you want to do, despite of. Because regardless of what you say about Kanye and his mental rants, him saying what he's saying about his daughter having makeup and being grown looking on TikTok, her being who she is, the daughter of Kim Kardashian and the daughter of Kanye West, she should not be on the internet. First of all, if she was the daughter of Joe and Tammy, she don't need to be on the internet as a child. That's
Agreed.
Okay.
first and foremost. But because of who they are, okay? Because of who they are, girl, then you go all the way to Paris and get robbed. You don't have the common sense not to put your child up on here.
Child,
But
it's
you do
the
that in spite of. So that what he was saying, wanting to be able to go to birthday parties, wanting to be able to pick them up from school, wanting to have input on how his children are raised. There is nothing wrong with that. But listen, if you didn't know that family was a clan, the clan and a clique that was going to ice you out and you wasn't going to have no control over your children, you're not going to have anything to do with your children unless you bow down, kiss the ring like Scott did. Okay. If other than that, good luck. You'll see your children when they're old enough to invite you to stuff themselves and have their own children in their own houses.
so with Candace's lawsuit, it was back when she was a senior in high school. Some of her palm colored classmates, boys that they were, sent her death threats and racist death threats over voicemail, totaling 2 minutes. Now, sent that to the superintendent. The superintendent said it was horrendous. Hold on. And then her family sued the Stanford Board of Education in federal court, saying that they did not protect little girl rights. Okay, I don't know that lady. I'm not a fan. Said, they didn't protect her rights, and they got a settlement of $37,000 with 500 added on to that, but it was really $37,000. And she had a little TED talk on it back in 2007. Okay, that's what she did.
But you sued the palm color people, and that's the same color people that you aligning yourself with. That's the same uncooked meat you let sit in your buffet whenever you decide to do so when you lay in the bed with your husband. Go to hell.
hmm
Go to hell.
Listen, and
And
then when
listen, I am not saying I am against entering, like, love who you love. You know what I'm saying? A man, woman, boy, girl, white, Asian, whatever, right? But don't shit on us because you love differently or you want to align yourself with somebody else. And it's hard for me to accept that you married this man for love when these are the same people that you had to sue that was sending you death threats and everything else. And now you want to align yourself with that. And I know everybody's not the same. You cannot classify everybody the same in one race. You classify the individual. But for me, I feel like somehow she feels like this made her better. This made her more acceptable to them. And at the end of the day, those people who think like those boys who did what they did to you still see you as a nappy-headed, regardless of your white husband.
And speaking of the bow down thing, because Scott did bow down, we saw that. Because I remember when I was a child, not now, I don't watch that show no more, don't judge me. But when I was younger, before I woke up and realized what was going on, when Scott and Rob, before Rob became, bigger and was in the house, when they got into that fight in that hotel room in Vegas, and they swore they would never talk to Scott again, and he was the most horrible person on the face of the planet. Scott bowed down before them kids was ever born. Because he show was on the next season after they said he was not coming back.
I just I can't I can't the level of coonery for me, and I don't know how anybody else feels about it. Y'all can tell me. It's amazing to me how they want to align themselves with people who quote unquote control the company, right? The country, or control the masses. However, when you look at What's driving the culture? People are buying bodies to look like us. They're injecting their bodies with some of everything to look like us, to have the features that they deemed before not attractive, not
Mhm.
feminine, not sexy. Now they want to be walking around here with box braids, dreadlocks, and every damn thing else. When you look at commercials, you got rap music. And what day and age, think about when we were growing up. Did you think you was going to get a Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg crip walking at the
I
halftime?
I said,
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at what culture, what's driving the country as far as culture and what's popular, you got rap songs and everything else. That's us. That's not them. And that's why people need to pay attention. And it's beyond the Kanye West and the Candace Owens. People need to pay attention, like they pushing this don't teach CRT. CRT is a course that is taught in the first year of legal school. It's not being in law school. It's not being taught in elementaries, in middle schools, in high schools. But what they want to do is erase the past. So when you erase the past, all of the accomplishments we made back then, plus the progress and accomplishments we making now, they can do. When you get on TikToks, all our music, all our dances, what are they doing?
and then
I
you
don't
have
see nobody TikToking a Taylor Swift.
because it's not good music. I'm gonna just say that.
Well, why would they?
But
There's
I'm
a
just saying, so they're trying to rewrite the history that everything what we are doing, all of the looks, all of the features are theirs, not ours. As if we are the imitators when we are the creators. So I
True.
don't understand why wanting to align yourself with someone with people who are so devoid of culture. There is nothing that is theirs. You go to Jamaican restaurants, you can go to African restaurants, you can go to the
But
pho,
but
you
you
can go
have
to
to
the
also
Chinese buffet.
but you have to also understand the
What
fact
do they
that
have?
we don't buy that music and we don't support that music when it comes down to it.
what
You know,
music?
our music, we don't do it. So I've talked about this for years. When it comes down to it, like black people, we just don't buy the music and we don't support the music. Like we would listen to it if it's in our car or whatever. But when it comes to supporting the music, we don't do it. So this is why a lot of our artists lose the momentum of their music because think about Beyonce. The way she did it, like this time, was magical because we're used to getting a visual and audio at the same time. She was like, "Nope, you don't want the audio." But that's how they know that's how they used to do it. You get the audio first, and then you might get like a one video, but then eventually you would get like the rest of it. So if she's taking it back to the way where people had to buy music, that's how we work as black people. If we get everything at one time, we're not going to buy it.
I mean, that's what Meg tried to do, but then her stuff got
Meg
rolled
didn't have
out.
the name for that. She didn't have the name for that though, so she would
No,
never do that. The
no.
new girls,
I mean, in the sense of she tried to put her album out first before any type of visuals got dropped. In the sense of it goes with what she like. Listen, black nerds love anime, and they do. And the visuals she had for the Traumazine album were created by the creator of the
mm,
Boondocks. However, her stuff got put out, like leaked before she could ever do anything. So she had to just
but
go
she's
ahead
in a
and
bad
do
deal
all
too.
that.
She's in a bad deal though.
Yeah, that's true. I wish she.
And then with Evelyn and Baby Daddy,
Oh Lord.
evil of a feather flock together.
Oh,
Well,
you talking about Cash Doll?
I was gonna say
No.
it changed. It changed, though. I will say so, Deb. In my opinion, it changed. Yes, what you were saying was the old school way,
Mm,
but I'm also probably the oldest school on the panel.
mm.
And it changed when Michael Jackson came along. So he there. Yes, we heard the music, but he also put out visuals to premiere with the music, and that's what made us want to buy it as well. So
But Michael Jackson never did a whole album of like visuals before. Like Beyonce's
no,
been testing out different things.
yeah,
So when it comes out to Beyonce, like I get what you're saying. I get that part. When it comes to Beyonce, like Beyonce has done a lot when it comes down to her music. Like she will put out the music and the visuals out at the same time. What
yeah,
we learned, what let's take Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson gave us Thriller, right?
right. But I mean, let me
Thriller
just
was
say,
out for a
I
long
was,
time.
yeah, but no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no, no, no.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you saying?
I was going to say that Beyonce learned from people like Michael Jackson, and she said so in prior years, right? Um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and so that's where she got that from. Any
Right.
visuals that will help you sell and drive ticket sales
Mhm.
started with Michael Jackson, point blank
But
and
I
period.
think it's
So
about
now,
what's happening now
right,
with
I was going to
music.
say, so now if we fast forward, she's done the whole visual thing. She did
Mhm.
Lemonade, she that kind of changed the
Black is
game.
King. She did I Am
Yeah.
Sasha Fierce. She did Beat It. Like she's done all these albums where these visuals were a part of it, but the way that she's working now, it's very strategic. And I like how it's working because it's like people are waiting for something that will happen at some point. But what it does is it builds the numbers of the song once you release the visuals again too. So she has the opportunity to like people like the song. So now let me work on my visuals. Once the visual hits, those songs are going to chart again.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's
And
what
when she
Michael
goes
Jackson did.
and which exactly, and that's what I was going to say. It all like what she's doing right now, she's not the first. She's just
Right.
continuing what was
Right.
already done and
Right.
laid out for her. I mean, all of the people I would say from the 80s started that trend
Oh,
and
I know.
pushed music in that direction, but I mean, obviously the biggest from that era was Michael Jackson. Nobody was doing that. Nobody.
And sorry,
And
no,
Listen, no,
I thought you was already up here still. I don't know why
no,
this.
no, my phone started tripping, so I dropped down and came
I was like,
on
I know I dropped down. I didn't realize.
the computer. But Cindy, listen, you are absolutely correct. But I don't think in the history of music we're ever gonna get another Michael Jackson.
no.
Like
Ever,
Beyonce
ever.
is great. She's not Michael. Like
Now hold
there
on. Now
is,
hold on.
she's
Now
not
hold
Michael.
on.
I
Hold on.
just said
Hold on.
she's
Hold on.
great. She's not Michael.
But the thing is this: I think that
She's not
what people,
Michael. There's no listen. I don't care how much you love her.
I think what
I
people
don't care how
miss.
much you love her. She's not
Listen,
Michael.
I understand that. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I think
She's a
what people are
boss, but she's not Michael.
is a boss.
Oh Lord.
But what I'm gonna say is this: I think that people miss things. So when it comes down to this, Beyonce will never be a Michael Jackson, even though they compare her career to his, which honestly it is very much so comparable. To be
No,
honest,
she's
Listen, no,
comparable.
I've
No, no,
never
no.
seen that many
it's
people
it's it's
fall
it's
out
me
from Beyonce
it's me
walking on the
telling my story.
stage.
I let you talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. It's very comparable because the way that she has moved has been people would never have done it before. Michael Jackson's career, what he did, people never did before. People are not comparing what he did to compare what she did. What they said the way that they moved made them the way that they are. And so that's why I respect the way that Beyonce moves because it's not the way that Michael Jackson moved, but she moved her way, and it works well for her because people are not really buying like they're not Beyonce people who will do what they did for Michael Jackson. But
But so Deb,
but
you have to.
financially, like when it comes to her concerts, she's making her money. When Michael Jackson was an artist, it was album sales. In 2022, like that doesn't mean anything. So we
No,
had to look
no,
at.
no. That's not true. I mean,
Okay, I'm
I've been.
listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
I was in the music business, so I'm
Mhm,
telling you, that's not how artists used to make their money. Was
mhm,
by ticket sales of albums. How they made their
mhm.
money was always touring. That's why he had
Okay.
the biggest sellout tours
So
around the
you don't
world.
think Beyonce's touring is similar to Michael Jackson?
Absolutely. And I was going to say what
Okay.
you're saying is partially right in my opinion. Now, to you I know it's 100% right, but in my humble opinion,
No, I
Beyonce
understand that. I understand that.
she falls under, like you said, a boss category. She falls under a Tina Turner. She falls under a Diana Ross. She's not going to fall under a Michael Jackson. She's not.
I can't agree with that.
I know you
Listen,
can't, but that's the truth.
until I see people, Cindy, and you was in the music business, so I'm gonna ask you since you are the
Well,
music business expert.
well, now hold on,
Can
hold
you
on, hold on,
tell
hold on,
me?
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, wait. If we're gonna take Cindy's thing, my uncle sang back and forth to Vandross his entire life. I know the music industry as well too.
Okay, well,
So
music industry people, but you have
I
a biased
understand how it
point of
works.
view. You have a biased point of
But
view. But have you ever seen Beyonce walk on the stage and as many
Thank you,
people
birthday.
fall out crying
No,
behind her
Michael,
like they did Michael.
no.
Michael would walk out on the stage and say,
they have
and
done
then
it.
just
Wait.
fainted and
That's wrong. People have
it
done
went.
that.
You would have thought
No,
Michael
so
Jackson
The
was
only
bending
thing that you
in.
have not seen that Beyonce have done that Michael Jackson hasn't done with the wheelchair.
well, I'm gonna say so, Deb.
Everything else Beyonce has done.
I've
I
never seen
attended.
people falling and fainting just from
They
Right.
have.
Beyonce walking on the
They
stage.
literally have done that.
Yeah,
Oh
I've
my
seen
God.
people
It's
different.
been shown. It's been shown. It's been shown.
Never as much as Michael.
No.
It was not. No.
We only seen Michael do it one time.
No, so Deb, yeah, that's
What? One
wrong.
time?
How many times have y'all seen it? Because I seen it on the video
Several.
one time.
Several times.
But do y'all think that the way,
I
like,
want to compare those things. Like, show me the comparison because to me,
I'm
the
gonna
thing
I'm
is
gonna
this:
see the proof.
Michael Jackson was at a time of that Beyonce was not. Music was so important, and like you couldn't do what Beyonce was doing at the time she was doing. Let's take Beyonce out of the category and put Mariah Carey into it. Mariah Carey has
she's still no Michael Jackson.
She has stood the test of time when it comes down to music. Period.
Yes.
Mariah Carey has
mean,
been
but
from
she's
the
failing.
80s.
She's
Listen,
failing now.
Hold on. No, listen. Mariah Carey went through the 80s to the 2022s. She has done her job, literally.
She has.
And so
Listen, I don't want to see
we
Mariah
were-
singing
but-
no
but-
more
but-
Christmas
but hold on,
songs
hold
no
on.
more. It's horrible.
Well, listen what I'm saying.
Stop.
You think that, and that's fine. But her
It's too many
fans don't
people.
think that. But the reality is when it comes down to Beyonce and Michael Jackson and Beyonce and Michael Jackson, there's not a big difference. And when it comes down to their tours, yes, Beyonce's might be a little bit lower than his, but all they had was tours and albums. Social media wasn't a thing. So what Beyonce is doing to me, this is my own personal opinion. You can tell me what you say, do what you want to do. This is my own personal opinion. What she's doing is the same thing. She has not done anything different that he has done. The only thing is different is that she has more access to people than he did. And I'm gonna leave it there. There you go.
But that's what
okay,
makes
so let
him
me just-
greater.
But
That's what makes him
exactly.
greater because he went
Exactly.
worldwide and he didn't have the access like she has now.
Right.
You don't think it's
let me just can I chime in really quickly?
Go ahead, girl.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but think about it. Michael Jackson right now, and I'll pull up the receipt and send it to you shortly. They said
I already said it.
Okay, I was going to say that. And we're talking about in 2022, he just sold another million records.
Absolutely.
He's
And
been
the man
dead.
been gone.
Listen, he's been
older
dead for
than her.
a decade. So
It
He's
don't
older than
matter.
her.
That man is not living no more. He is not.
Her
the
career
walking-
cannot match this because because he's had a longer career.
Listen,
But
let me tell you.
if we get to the end of her career,
listen,
I think it's gonna be the same thing.
So Deb, really quickly, listen, that does say something because he still outsold Beyonce, and the man has been dead for over a decade.
Absolutely, but he
This year,
should.
He's
Cindy,
still
he should
outsold
though.
her.
That's the thing, he should.
But
But
that's
I'm
his new
saying-
stuff.
At the end of her career, will she succeed him? Yes.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
Next
see.
topic.
But
Next case.
Listen, wait, but the fact that you said that, that's what I'm saying. Like we're standing where he's at right now. We know he's an amazing artist. I never was a fan.
No,
of Michael
he was a
Jackson,
once
ever.
in a lifetime.
I wasn't. So I wasn't. I'm gonna just say that I was never a
If
fan
Man
of
in the
it.
Mirror didn't move your soul,
But
Man in the Mirror got my ass whipped when I was a kid.
but hear what I'm saying. I respect his music because his music meant everything to people.
My
and I
God.
respect it.
Respect his talent.
I thought you was
it
my
His
not-
brother.
his talent,
How
everything
did
you're
Man in the
saying.
Mirror not move your
Listen,
soul?
everything you're about to say, I
Tell, I
respect
thought
all
he was
that.
family too, but I
I
guess
respect
not.
everything you're saying. But when it comes down to Beyonce, I think that when she gets down to the Michael Jackson timestamp of where he was at his time, she's going to be there.
No, Michael Jackson was famous since he was 5 years old. That girl started when she was a teenager, and I'm not saying that she's not.
So
she's
then
not-
we can't
I'm not saying that
compare
she's
the
not,
time
but
frames
let me
of when they
finish.
were successful.
Can I finish?
What we can do, Cindy, hold on. What we
God.
can do is understand the success of them at their prime. And go ahead.
Listen, my grandma used to hire the Jackson 5.
Oh
when
no!
they was
Wait!
back
Hold
in-
on! Wait! We on Cindy. Go ahead, Cindy.
I was going to say, What Beyonce has done, nobody is going to diminish. However, to
They can't.
change the face of music and a culture is what he and his family did. She will
And Beyonce
never
never did
come
that.
close to that. She will never
Beyonce never
come
did
close
that.
to that. No.
Beyonce made a whole album of every genre of music.
She has
Michael
never
Jackson
done
never
that.
did that.
He
For
did.
when?
What do you mean when? His whole
What was the
career.
what was the album? What was the album?
His whole career.
It was all pop.
What are you talking about?
His albums are all pop music.
Oh my God, no. They didn't even know how to categorize Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, when he started out into Motown was nothing but R&B.
R&B.
Okay,
R&B.
so his whole career was not pop.
As a
Okay?
kid, as a child star.
Okay.
Then he moved on to the solo artist. He was a pop star.
Okay.
What other genres of music did he do?
Rock.
Thank you.
What was it?
Rock and roll.
Rock and
What was the
roll,
rock and roll
R&B,
song?
Dirty Diana.
Well, R&B and pop is the same thing to me. So
Oh,
Okay,
no, you
it's
didn't.
not.
Wasn't that song that him and
it's
Janet
R&B and
did?
pop, R&B and pop for all these
Oh my
artists.
God, the real estate insider, my
Hold on,
God, I
because
can't trust him to buy me a house,
Beyonce
to
got
sell
nothing
me
for
a house.
something.
My God, I was gonna get
Mike can
housing
say,
advice
"Listen,
from him.
I'm with you."
Uh-uh.
As a kid star, yes, he could sing. As an adult, I can't get with it. No.
You don't just put on some Michael Jackson and just chill out.
I never turn on Michael Jackson to like be, oh yeah, this is what I'm listening to. Never.
I listen to Scream at least.
I will listen to the Jackson 5 stuff, but not Michael Jackson.
Listen, let me tell you something. You know what, brother? I know I said you was stuck with me for life.
Listen,
but the fact that Man in the Mirror.
Because I'm getting read in the chat too. I'm okay with Tierra. I'm okay with Prosperity. And I'm okay with you, Nola, as well as saying that y'all not okay with this.
That
the reality is
the Man in the Mirror did not move you. I was so moved by Man in the Mirror. This little girl came to school and ain't had no earrings in her ear. And I gave her my diamond earrings because I was looking at the Man in the Mirror. Now my mama was looking at the belt in the closet when I got home.
Does that make him a great artist though?
Yes, it does. So listen,
it made you move your soul.
But listen,
to me, a great artist can move your soul, and that's across any genre.
Do you know how many souls Beyonce has moved?
But so Deb, you can't say.
But hold on, listen. Hear what I'm saying. I get what y'all saying. But hear what I'm saying. Do you know how many souls that Beyonce has moved?
She ain't never moved my soul.
If I can tell you my own personal story. If I can tell you my own personal story about how she has moved my soul when I came out to my family because of Beyonce,
right?
It will change your life. So I can't sit here and think that Michael Jackson was the only person who moved souls. I think the research. I didn't say that either. But what I'm saying is that let's put it together. Like, yes, you have your faith. We all have other faiths. Beyonce changed my life, and I want to. Beyonce faith ever changed my life. Period.
Okay, fair point. Let me just say that also look at all of the people, including Beyonce, in this generation that Michael has influenced. Chris Brown. Don't compare me to him.
Chris Brown is an abuser that nobody likes.
I understand that, but they still compare.
Chris Brown has the potential to do everything.
He has influence, even your favorite Beyonce.
Absolutely.
Like you said so.
And Mariah Carey.
What do you think that Bootylicious is? All of the influencers, all of the.
But should you take it a little bit farther?
All of the influential people now that are at the top of the tops, all credit Michael Jackson.
So, I think Candy, you know how you do your music. You have your music nights.
Well,
so real estate industry say, let's
wait. Let me read these comments for a second. Prosperity Thick Girl said Beyonce has never made a soul pass out though. What I don't even know what that means. So we're gonna
pass out.
Pass out.
No. I'm trying to fix it. That's what she wrote. So we're gonna read that. No more super chats for you. Let's go song for song with Beyonce and Mike. Let's go song for song.
So that's what I was. That's what
Let
I
me
was
tell you
about to
something. Let me
say,
tell you something.
Candy. When you do
Listen,
your music
Real
nights,
Estate
it should
Insider,
be
I
one
would
night.
love to do this. I think Beyonce will win. Pacific said, has
I'm
SoDebNair
Team
been
Mike.
drinking?
I'm
Or
Team
has he
Mike.
been drinking? No, I said this sober. I said this drunk. I said this every day of my life. I don't think that Michael Jackson had the impact that he has had because he didn't have to have the work that she has had to do. Period.
No,
This is a
that's
black.
not true.
Hear what I'm saying? This is a black woman who has really taken over music. Period. Michael Jackson didn't have that. He did have the black person trying to take over music at the time, but as
He
a black
took over
woman,
music at the time in the 50s and
listen,
60s
listen.
when we weren't even
Michael
allowed
Jackson
to.
never had to be a black woman trying to take over music. The way that Beyonce done it, Michael Jackson is a black woman.
Okay.
Could never.
So
Can
Deb,
I
Could
say
never.
something?
Could never.
Can
And
I
I'm gonna let
say-
y'all go. Yeah, go
Can I
ahead,
say
go
some
ahead.
things? Can
Go
I
ahead,
say
go
some
ahead, go ahead,
things?
go ahead.
Okay, first of all, before I get to this other thing, I'm just gonna say, is it like 6 degrees of separation? I'm gonna say that my grandma, God rest her soul, I miss my lady so much, lived in Chicago. They were in Gary, Indiana. They used to hire the Jackson 5 to come perform at parties.
Not Destiny Child.
They wasn't alive. My grandma was born in 1947. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
And then you said Michael
If
Jackson.
they had a decision when they choose Destiny Child over Michael Jackson 5.
What?
The Jackson 5.
If they had a
Everybody would choose the
decision,
Jackson 5.
would they have chosen Jackson 5 over Destiny
Yes,
Child?
everybody would choose the Jackson 5.
The Jackson 5.
I don't
Okay.
think. I don't think so. I don't
And
think
then
so.
so
But
that-
go ahead.
And then so Deb, you said Michael didn't have he didn't cross over to many genres. Did you say that?
No, I said he did. I know he did.
Okay.
I
So
heard
that's
you
not
say
my
he
argument.
did. That's what I heard. But okay.
If I said that, I was wrong when I said that. I didn't mean to say that. He did.
So you mean to tell? And then you said his music didn't move your soul. So you mean to tell?
Oh, now when I said that, I meant that his music never moved my soul.
So you mean to tell me, like Nola said, "Man in the Mirror" didn't get you?
No,
they don't care. They really don't care about us. That didn't get
None of
you,
it.
and we
None
still
of it.
sing that to this
None
day.
of it. None of it.
Not
None of it.
even a Michael Jackson halftime
None of
show.
it.
Seriously?
None of it.
Okay.
You know what? I'm
Nothing.
gonna when I
Not
come
one
to
song
Atlanta,
did.
I am gonna force you in the house, and we're gonna listen to Michael.
Not one song. None.
What about Scream with him and Janet?
I'm
I
a
love that
scream
song.
to say I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't hear it. None of
Okay,
it.
so Deb. Okay, now we're like you said, we don't do the slander of certain people. Let's
And
not
I'm not slitting. I'm
continue.
just saying it didn't move me.
Let's
It
move
didn't
on
move
to
me.
OG. Can we move on to OG?
Yeah,
Let's move on to OG.
Let's move. Oh my
Because this
God.
is not gonna never be. I just have one thing to say before we move on.
Say it.
Shout out to my sister-in-law, the candy shop. Brandy is the vocal Bible.
See? And that's the other problem is that they think this is a vocal Bible, and that's the other problem that happens here.
And she
I was
is.
just being messy. Please don't start. I was just
She can't even be a pamphlet, but she's sitting around being a vocal Bible.
No.
don't act like you wasn't
She
sitting up in
she
your
could
room at night
never
talking
in her
about
life be a vocal Bible. Period.
So you ain't never sat up in your room at night in the window talking about.
She could sit up in my room and give me a little ditty bop, but never a vocal Bible.
You ain't never want to be down.
Cry.
She could never be a vocal Bible when it's up in my.
My
So, Deb,
goodness,
you
it
ain't
must
never
be a
gonna be down?
generational thing. Can we
Nah.
move on? Can we
Yeah,
move
let's move on.
Yeah, I was just because I know that sends
I'm never
him
gonna win
into a
this battle
spiral.
with me.
I know that sends him into a spiral, y'all. I just had
Yes,
to.
I'm
so
in the
sorry.
spiral right now. I'm like I'm trying to come down
So you don't want
because
to
why
ever
would
be
you even
down.
say
Okay.
this?
'Cause it's fun.
I just want to say this to everybody that's here.
It's
She would never be a vocal Bible to be
It's-
on this chat. Now I do shows with. Listen, hold on, wait, because my friends are here. The candy shop think that that's true, and that's okay with me. You do, Nola. Do you, Cindy?
I do.
So Cindy and ranting, do you?
Duh.
Okay, so
Oh,
this
no, I don't think. Let me be
she's a
clear.
vocal Bible, but I don't have to be.
I
mean
don't
to
think
them.
that. I don't think that. If I just say that because I know it messes with you, and I like to see your face.
She will never
To me, if
in her
there's
life
vocal
be a
Bible, it
vocal
would
Bible.
be the
Never.
Whitney Houston. To me, if it's a vocal Bible, it would be the Whitney Houston.
Before or after crack.
And to Brandy as well.
Before,
Brandy,
But you know what
Listen,
they,
if we not, if
but,
we
but,
can't talk
but,
She's her
about
idol.
Mariah
but
cracking
what
them
they
tunes
use
at
is
the New
that
Year's
she
party,
said
we
that.
can't talk about Whitney
Nola,
Okay,
and her
Nola,
Coca-Cola
Nola.
Nola.
voice.
What they
Stop,
use is that
stop growling a mutt.
she said that. So then they use that. So my thing is this. My own personal opinion is it's not true. There are some people who Beyonce to me is a vocal Bible. Who does what she does? Brandy can never.
No.
So I can
Brandy had
never sit
already done
around.
it, but let's move
Brandy
on.
can never do what Beyonce does as a vocal
Please, let's move on.
pamphlet, a vocal
Can we move on,
napkin.
please?
Let's please move on. We know you love her, and
Yes.
we like her too. I
Yeah.
love Beyonce.
And
I just had her
well,
on
no,
on my show.
I sit here and I say, you know, I'm listening to y'all saying it, but my reality is that Brandy can never do what Beyonce has done
I
as a
understand that.
vocalist.
We just
So we're
let's
gonna move
agree to
on.
disagree.
We're gonna move on.
Yep. Let's move
The
on.
real estate insider says Whitney Houston is the vocal Bible,
I'm
second
done.
Beyonce,
No, I'm done with real estate insider.
and that's all that it is. So we're there. Okay,
Well, you
so
know,
let's move on. Let's
Beyonce
move
will
on.
never be a Whitney Houston, but okay. Let's
Beyonce will
move
be
on.
a vocal Bible though. She'll
No,
never be with Whitney Houston.
can
no,
we
She's a
move
vocal.
on?
no.
If you ever have heard how they put her shit together, how she does it, how she orchestrates her vocals, her background vocals, and everything, Brandy can never.
Yes, she could,
Like
and she already
never
did it.
ever in her life.
She did, but
Brandy,
let's move on.
if we're talking about Brandy vocally, Brandy can even sing outside of her own range. So we can never say that Brandy is a vocal Bible. Brandy is a vocal what is it like I'm stuck in this space right here. That's what Brandy is. I'm a vocal temporarily person.
Moving on, please.
Well-
Next case.
Okay, so we're going to we're going to basketball wise. Now listen, if y'all don't know about basketball wise, y'all can drop down. This is me and Cindy's thing.
I'm gonna drop down because I'm tired.
I knew you. Oh no, you can't drop down because
This is your show, Candy.
This is our show together. If Ranting or Nola will drop down, they can, but you need to stay.
Oh no, I was waiting on
This
this.
is our show.
We waiting on this basketball.
I know y'all gonna stay. So, but the candy shop cannot leave.
Them kids been driving the candy shop up the wall. She didn't have to pause.
And
like
that's
4
okay. They're
times.
gonna drive up. That's gonna happen every day.
She didn't have to pause 4 times to tell them to shut up and stop talking.
That's okay. They do it every time, so it doesn't matter. So let's get into
Them children
OG.
won't let her be great.
Now let's go around the room. How y'all feel about OG? Let's start with the candy shop, Ranting, Nola, and then Cindy.
So, like I expressed on the phone with you earlier, SoDebNair, I didn't really watch the seasons that she was on. I did see the altercation that she had with Evelyn, and I did feel like Evelyn was being a colorist. As for this podcast, I do believe there was some colorism at play. The only thing about OG though, it's something about the source where it's coming from. I think she's using it a little bit to her advantage to be the victim versus really addressing what they've been doing for a long time on the show. That's my opinion on that.
So hold on, go. I gotta go. I'll be right back. I gotta take up.
We gonna continue on. It's gonna go me.
Ranting.
That's what I said. We're gonna continue on. It was like it's gonna be me. It's gonna be Nola. Then it's gonna be
Right.
Cindy.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Go ahead. You're next.
I liked OG when she came on the show. It was something new. She was something new. She was something fresh. It got me away from the people I don't like. If you know me, you know I don't like a few of them people on that show. So I actually enjoyed OG. Okay. I was like, football. I knew the ladies play football, but she really played football. I was like, well, go ahead, Miss Girl, because it couldn't be me. You're doing something great because I'm not gonna do it. When it came down to the situation between her and Evelyn, is what I call her. I don't care how y'all feel. I call her Evelyn.
We understand. Just
when she speaks on it in the podcast about the whole, she didn't have her phone and she wanted to go get her phone versus y'all Evelyn having the papers. I always wonder where'd she find a printer? That always went in my mind. Like, where did she find a printer to get them things printed up to have them ready to go? Like,
Weren't they staying in a resort? I'm sure they have concierge.
I don't know. I was like, well, it made no sense to me. With the podcast, a lot of stuff, maybe just for me, maybe not for everybody else, but a lot of things were kind of like astounded upon, and then some things were cleared up in the way that it was like talked about. Now, do I feel like we need to continue the conversation on colorism and texturism? Yes. Do we need to continue the conversation on what happened with that show? Yes, because it's been a thing that's been happening since forever. Not just with colorism and texturism, it's just some other things that have been happening since forever. Do I want the conversation to continue with Carlos of the King? No. Because he was being petty in that thing too towards other people, if you caught it.
Yep.
I was done.
Okay. Well, that was good. That's a good perspective, Nola.
For me, I didn't get OG being a victim. I got I got her side of what it was, and a lot of missing pieces fit in for me. I was sorry to hear how Vashandia, the last lady, was giving her friends access to this lady footage, her contract, things like that. I thought that was very despicable and vile, in my opinion, because that's, to me, that's a violation, like letting somebody see my contract and things like that. And so, for me, it cleared up a lot. I think the conversation needs to be had. And I personally am glad that she, unlike a lot of people who experience it, is not taking her foot off their neck. She's been consistent with keeping her foot on their neck, and her opinion of how she was treated has been consistent, whether you like her or not. It's been consistent throughout. So she's not like somebody who got off and wanted to spill the tea because now you're on the outs with them, or you're no longer good with them. Like when Tammy was good with them, she was good with them, and I love Tammy to death. But it's like, now that you're no longer good with them, now you want to spill the tea on what was going on, but you were complacent and you were fine with what was going on, or didn't show any disdain or stand up for anybody when you were good with them. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that OG has remained consistent and didn't wait to call them out on their BS until it was over, I think that's wonderful. And I
Mm-hmm.
think she should keep her foot on their neck. The last lady and the hot hoochie, or the first hoochie. I mean, whatever you want to call Evelyn.
I'm sorry. Are you done now?
I'm done.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. I was distracted. Sorry. Yes, that's really good points as well, Nola. My opinion is obviously going to be slightly different, just because, I look at, and I've said this to SoDeb and the audience, for since our reviews, is that I look at the show differently. I see it as entertainment and a program, right? So I see it as, and like if I watched the Cosby Show, right? It's along those lines for me. I don't really feel like I'm a part of, you know, their reality. I see them as entertainers. And she did, and that podcast basically said that she was like, they are like actors, and that's what I've said from the beginning. So the fact that so many people take a lot of this context personally when it's orchestrated or led in that way by production, kind of boggles my mind. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. Regarding OG, I feel like I agree with both Ranting and you, Nola, in the sense that she did bring something different. That's one piece that I agree with Ranting. She did bring something different. The female football thing was cool in the beginning, and then she moved into the more negative spaces. I feel like that's what started to be a problem for me on the entertainment level. But she had every right to speak her truth. I just feel like anybody that would sign a contract on a show and as long as that show had been running, should know what the show is about, right? Should know who the players are and the main people of the show. So why would you sign on to do a show that basically ultimately goes against everything that you feel like is part of your identity, which is her
Right.
African culture, her features, her color, all of that stuff, you know. So if you like if you're on a show like for example, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Netflix has like Rich African and Famous, or Rich whatever the show is, right? You know kind of basically what the show is about, right?
Right.
So, you know, I feel like just because she was
And
dating,
Cindy, just think about this. She signed up for a show. She already knew what it was about.
yes, that's my point. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like that's the point that I'm making. Yes, she has every right to call out the people that did mistreated her in the beginning, and I really feel like it was seniority. They should not, and I agree with the Candy wait, who said this? No, Nola said that that they shouldn't be talking about her. That's like somebody you know, in HR showing someone's paycheck to someone. You don't do that. They shouldn't be showing her contract, this, that, and the other. But would she have preferential treatment over someone that was, you know, the beginning of the franchise, like an Evelyn? No, she's not going to. So yes, they're not going to allow her to go get her phone based on, you know, she's a new girl, and Evelyn is the one that helped to establish that franchise, not her. So yes, obviously
with
they're
my
going to give
company,
her
and I said,
oops.
Can I just add something on to the contract situation?
Yes.
Because a lot of us always wondered when it came to the reunion of them having her sit on another stage. And
Yeah.
we all knew it was a big lie when they said, oh, Tammy requested to be on another stage. But Tammy was never coming to the reunion in the first place.
Right.
OG let it be known. And I was like, okay, now that's crazy. That the only reason why she stayed, because she would have left too, is because she didn't want to give them a reason not to pay her because they hadn't paid her out her contract yet. And I was like, I don't get how, like, okay, I could see y'all trying to hold on to the check
She
until
made
after.
a fool of herself.
No, but you can't, like, contract wise, you can't just hold on to someone's money and not pay them.
Yes, you
Did,
can.
did you
Yes,
did
you
you
can.
hear
That's
the
how
did you
all
hear
of
the interview that Carlos King did with her?
Yes.
Carlos,
that's
when
how
she
that's
talked,
how
she
all
talked, she talked, she told Carlos, she said that I was in a 5-year contract. Carlos said it was up to 5 years. So
right.
she lied. She didn't have a 5-year contract. It
No.
was up to 5 years. OG has been playing the game for a very long time. This is why I don't really like OG. This is why I can't deal with OG, because OG wants to make this a big ass thing about something that didn't really happen.
Right.
Had she came with the best wife and said what she said on Carlos King channel, it would have made so much sense. But what she did was she was like, she made them confuse her, and then she couldn't tell you what colorism was. Now all of a sudden you know what it is.
Right.
And
And
to me, it makes me feel like I would never trust OG explaining colorism to me, because when they asked you about it on the show, she was giving all kind of excuses about things. Carlos had to keep correcting her about what it was. So like,
right.
where are we really at?
I feel like where we are. So Deb, you know, and again, I wasn't really finished giving my opinion, but
Oh
to
yeah, I'm
jump,
sorry.
that's okay. To jump to where you left off is I think that she had a job, right? If we're just gonna,
Right.
let's compare it to a 9 to 5. You have a
Right.
job. You are the person in the job that's causing static. You get let go, and then you're kind of bitter about that piece. Then you have someone who was kind of a mainstay like a Tammy egging
Right.
you on, being like, yeah, girl, don't let them do that to you, and blah blah blah, because now she has sour grapes because she, you know, considered Shawnee a friend, and now she does not.
Now,
um
let me ask you this, Cindy.
mhm.
Did you ever think that Tammy was really her friend?
I never really looked at them
Never.
that way. I mean, I don't know Tammy to say whether she was genuine or not, but she
She
certainly
was
has
never
said,
she was never really her friend.
but
She
but
said
she's been her friend since, though.
she
She's been her
said
friend
on
on the show
Carlos
and off.
King's, but she said on Carlos uh podcast channel, the reason why she friended her was because they said that she was ugly and that she couldn't dress.
That's right. But then afterwards,
That doesn't make a real friendship.
but since they've been off the air, both of them, both Tammy and OG, they have maintained a friendship.
Because they are the disgruntled people who left the show.
That was my point that I just made. That's my point.
No. I got what you were saying, but I want to take it back to this because I'm like, she's sitting here thinking, like, oh, Tammy's my friend.
Right.
Tammy's not really your friend.
No, I feel like Tammy has been in the business and in the game of reality longer than all of them. She knows it better than all of them. And you know, she just like when we went back to the MTV reunion of her cast, she kind of still kind of played all of them too. They all kind of fell right back into their characters, quote unquote characters on the show.
Right.
It's not real, right? So I mean, they both said that. Even the non-twin twins have said that it's not real. You know, they can edit it.
But I think that Tammy going back saying, you know, they said that she was ugly and she couldn't dress, made her friend.
That was being messy.
I was like, well, we understand why, because they went through the whole thing with the new cast member coming on being what is it?
Hayes,
yes. And I'm like, well, I know me and Cindy have talked about this for weeks.
Yep.
So we know that that's true.
Yep.
So then for her to come on, she's like, well, you can't teach me how to be a designer, or they gotta get stylist or whatever. I'm like, but she's like, well, I dress myself. And then she was like, well, Shawnee said when I wasn't, I'm like, nobody has walked into anything and thought that she was like, oh, OG looked better than me.
Right.
I can't see that. Because
I can't
OG,
either.
even with her designs, they looked a mess.
Yeah.
What she's not honest about is that Tammy said that it looked a mess.
Right. No, it was the hair situation what she was talking about.
It wasn't the hair situation. Where she was talking about that, she did talk about the hair situation, but her wig was sliding back. So I will give you that.
Not talking about that with the Shawnee.
But no, well, I'm going back to the beginning when she designed their clothes when she was at that pool party.
Yeah, that shit was ugly.
And her boobs were sitting up like this.
Yep.
And they were making fun of it. I'm like, well, it did look a mess. So coming back to it, it's like, you know, watching the show, we all know the people who come on the first thing they get hazed. But OG made it easy for us because she looked a mess.
But it wasn't not even that, so Deb.
It wasn't about her skin tone or nothing like that. It was about the fact she looked a mess.
Right, but it's not even that. I think as a new person, you know, most of the new people come on and they kind of humble themselves a little bit. She's always had a
well, she called Kristen a pick-me.
Right, but what I'm saying is,
and she said Jackie was a Sambo.
Right, but I think
Kristen is a pick-me.
I agree. I was gonna say
Kristen is a pick-me.
I don't think that Kristen is a pick-me.
Kristen is a pick-me.
Kristen is a pick-me. Please pick-me.
So Kristen came into the show knowing where the loyalty lies at. Period.
Kristen came.
No, she did not.
I'm not walking onto no show
knowing
this is where the collective is at, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, forget all of them.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. She is a pick-me. I can sign up for a show and say, oh, okay, I'm gonna go with the
and you're gonna be an OG,
the popular people, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna try to be friends with you.
I'm not gonna put on my family.
Cousin come on the show, and somebody make a reference to her being a nigga. Is every bit of you got to smoke with me? That's a pick-me. That was a pick-me move.
I don't see that.
My whole problem with the thing was
Evelyn called her Ling Ling and she thought it was funny and laughed. That's your family, and anybody who knows anybody that's Asian, you know that is offensive.
But the reality
is, and you know they consider that racist.
But the reality
that is a pick-me ass move.
No,
the reality of it is that's a pick-me move.
Nola, the reality is that a lot of us have said that. Period. And so
but it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right, but the reality is that a lot of us have said that as Black people, or maybe her because she's not Black. So we've all said that before. The reality is she came back and she apologized on that same episode when she brought it up. So then why are we still beating her down about that?
And they weren't getting along. And they weren't getting
along. It doesn't matter. Are you not allowed to make mistakes?
Evelyn loved making mistakes and then
because
fake with her
she
fake
said it, and
apologies.
when she brought it up, she said
Evelyn is never generous about anything when she apologizes, and I
well,
don't care
that's
what
your own
nobody
personal
says.
opinion. It's your
Okay,
own
Right.
personal.
So you believe that Evelyn didn't know that was offensive, just like she didn't know
Exactly.
that gorilla
I don't.
emoji
I
was
think that I
offensive.
think a
You think
lot of.
Evelyn is that
I
dumb?
think what I think is a lot of us have said things like that, and I think that Evelyn was on national television and said it, and she realized that it was wrong because people called it out on us.
But they had to call her out,
there
so
is
she
a lot
didn't
of
realize.
there's a lot of black people who have said ling ling behind the scenes, and we understand what she said. What she said was right, no, but a lot of us have already said that. So
She
I'm
has
not.
had made enough mistakes on this show to know better than to do that. That was just an excuse.
So
I'm
I
not.
have a
I'm not
so I
giving.
have a
I'm not giving
question.
that. I'm
I
not
have a
giving that.
question. Was it right for
It
them
was
to
wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong.
No, not that one. Was it
Okay.
right for them to insinuate that Cece was giving happy endings? Because I thought that was messed up.
Do we know if Cece was giving happy endings?
But they insinuated they didn't know either, but they insinuated
Do
it.
we know if Cece was giving happy endings?
No, we don't. And they
Well,
didn't know either, so they should not have said it.
So let me so let's go back to what Evelyn and Jennifer said. They said that it was a joke. They never said that she really was doing that. So that should be disregarded at this point.
But here's the thing.
No.
That's only a joke, like quote unquote a joke. First of all, I've only heard that being related to
Asian and them people.
people of Asian descent. I've never heard that being
About
insinuated
happy
to any.
endings?
Yes,
Yes.
I've never
Yes,
heard
the
that
word
being-
happy endings come from
Let me tell you
those
something.
parlors.
Let me tell you something. If that's all, the only time you heard that, then I understand this. But that's not. Gay people have many a businesses where
That's
it's called
that,
where they have
that's
happy
different
endings.
though. That's
So
true.
that
I would
Thank you.
never,
Thank you.
think that
We're talking about a
because they
group
said
wedding.
that this
Thank
was
you.
But that was what they were insinuating because
Exactly, and that's the
they
reason they
only-
said it, because she was of Asian descent.
She also said it was a joke.
But they said it was a joke after everybody got offended, after it was said about them. They was not.
She said it in that same conversation. This is when it went back
They
to her.
said it more than one time.
No, listen. When they said it to her, they said it was a joke. Even when it went with the Crimson and asked her about it, she said, "Oh, they did say it as a joke." So it was always a joke.
No.
Okay, I get what you're
So
saying.
we can't. I'm not about to
Always,
sit in that moment with that. I'm not sitting there
listen,
because
I
they told
get
her
what you're
that.
saying. I get what you're saying. That they meant it as a joke. But let me tell you something. When you are talking about my professional business and you are insinuating on a national TV show that I am selling coochie out of my business, that's not funny. Nothing about that is funny. And if
So
she
they
would
can
have
do it with
turned around
Evelyn's
and
job.
said something like that about Evelyn, it would have been all hell broke loose. She would have
They
got a
did.
bottle and everything else pitched at her. That's not funny.
She literally went outside and said, "Well, let's see what y'all do, because y'all don't have no jobs." So
They don't. That wasn't going out their business.
She downplayed their jobs too.
But here's the thing, it's like making the joke of, her business equates to, people getting happy.
This was something that was actually said though.
But I'm trying to say this, making that joke, whether it's a joke or not, I don't think it's funny, and it shouldn't be funny to anybody. But making that joke for the people who work in her business, the actual business, like we could actually go to that business, you are putting them in danger because you have.
You can't go to Evelyn's business.
It's
no.
If it's a joke, it's offensive.
We watched Tammy. We seen Tammy in her business.
It's offensive to the business and it's offensive to her race, even if it's a joke or not.
Exactly.
And then you have to add in the aspect of it's offensive to her.
Have we not all made bad jokes?
It's different when you're on a national television show, Dad. It's way different. You are held to a different standard when you are on national TV talking about somebody's profession and their business that they put from the ground up. That is different.
And I'm talking
saying at home with your friends about a happy ending.
And I'm talking about the danger aspect of it, that you're insinuating that she and her business give happy endings. Now you have
OG making all these jokes about Evelyn being a hoe is not dangerous.
No, she is a hoe, and that's true.
OG has been making jokes about OG's been talking about Evelyn being a hoe till this day.
Everybody has talked about Evelyn being a hoe because that's what we see her as.
But so if that's the thing, then why is this more important than that?
Because that's not her business. What is her business? What is Evelyn's business?
Evelyn had a whole business when the show started.
when it
But we
started. But
can't say
when this
that
season happened, she
we
no longer
cannot say
had
that
a
she have a.
business. She
We
no
cannot say
longer
she
had
have
a
a
business.
business.
When
Wait,
OG
you asked me a question.
started, she had no business.
Wait. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. You asked me a question. What's her business? She had one. We
Hey,
watched Tammy at the business when she had it. So she's had a business when Tammy was calling her a hoe. So we watched
she has a
Kenya. We
business.
watched Kenya call her a hoe. We watched all these girls call her a hoe. All these years, she can't marry no man. All these things. So when it comes down to like she can't say nothing. To me,
But so Deb,
it's
she's
so
trying to
controversial
nobody,
to me.
but Cece did not say that
prosperity thick
about her.
girl.
Cece had
Hold on,
nothing to
hold
do
on,
with that.
hang on.
Is she not allowed to sleep with men to get money?
Okay,
There's a
hang
lot
on.
of girls who do it.
That's
So she the
true.
one giving happy endings. So it was projection.
No,
Thank you
she's
for
not saying
clearing that
she
up.
don't have a business where she can have happy endings. My thing is this. To me, I feel like OG is very is it sex shaming or whatever it is. She is what she's doing to me is worse because she's it's a body shaming, is sex the
Slut
sex
shaming.
worker shaming,
Her.
all this stuff. Because why is Evelyn not able to live her life? Because of OG.
What?
Right. Well, she had
OG has said so many bad things about her sex life and about how she lives her life, her plastic surgery. She
And they
can say
talked about
all
OG
this stuff,
body.
but then Evelyn can't say, well, Chad wanted me to pat my pussy. Or she can't say, yo, you know what? Whatever she wants to say, it's like it's a double.
She can do it, but we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
Y'all gonna look at it
Can I
differently.
can I chime in really quickly?
Yes,
I
go ahead, Cindy. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was going to say that, as far as that goes, that's what that show was about, is shade. So going
Thank
back
you.
and forth, it was about, kind of, low blow shades. It wasn't like, we're highbrow, we don't joke about stuff like that. They will call each other, the B word. They'll call each other sluts. They'll throw
Right.
drinks in each other's faces. All of this stuff. So that's what the show is. But where OG, in my opinion, makes a spin is that she makes it be something that is where it's going to put the show in harm's way,
Jeopardy.
basically in jeopardy. Thank you. That was the word that I'm looking for. Like no other cast member has come on. I mean, we've had that poor, what was her name, Kendra, or whatever her name was with the K.
Kenya, Keisha,
Yeah,
Royce, all them.
when she called Evelyn a whore then, and Ev, which was not right, threw that bottle, or tried to throw a bottle towards her. I just feel like that's what the show is. OG put a different spin on it. Now, what you guys were saying about CC, I don't feel that it was right, but I don't want to get sidetracked because we'll be on here for hours, right?
Right.
So I feel like OG's interview, she had her points, but once again, I will side with, so Deb, I don't trust her 100%. She changed from colorism to featureism, then it changed from this to that. I just feel like
she literally went on from colorism to futurism, and
Yes.
nobody's sitting here saying, oh well, she's not talking about colorism, now she's talking about futurism. Like, that's the part that bothers me. It's like, if we're going to talk about colorism, let's talk about colorism.
Right.
And this is why me and Busy get into it all the time, because it's like, if we're going to talk about colorism, let's stick to that conversation. When it comes to features, that's different, because nobody can help their features, period.
Right.
But I'm not.
talked about
Hold on.
Go ahead.
We can't help our colors. We can't help our colors. And me and Busy have been this conversation multiple times, because to me it's this: people are so concerned about light skin and dark skin. These people in the middle don't even fucking matter. Excuse my language. They don't matter. But there is still things that go on in every skin tone of us being these colors. And so we come to this place where it's like dark skin matters more than everybody else. Light skin may matter for a very long time, but now dark skin is mattering. But there's these middle people who are brown skin who don't even matter. So when it comes down to color, to me, it's my own personal opinion. Y'all have to agree on this at all. My point is this: colorism is never going to stop, because it's going to always go towards a different skin tone of black people. Yes, we've been taught this during slavery, but we have to have a better mentality when it comes down to skin tones, because we are all beautiful in our own skin tones, period. But the longer that we all fight this battle as Black people, as different skin tones, we're going to stay stuck in this same stupid shit for the rest of our lives. The reality is that we are beautiful Black people, period. We have an opportunity as Black people who birth babies and to be different colors of Black people. Why are we the people that are sitting around calling this out as Black people? Like, let's just talk to each other and let's have a conversation and explain to us, because the thing is this. When we're busy, I hear dark skin thing all the time. With light skin people, I hear it all the time. There's no brown skin people conversation, because people are like, oh, you light skin, you dark skin, and we just sit in the middle. But the reality is that we're just Black.
Can I
Right,
just?
but
Can I?
just gonna let me just say this one thing really fast, Candy. I just want to say, let's keep it also in context of the show, in context of reality TV. And then I'm sorry, go ahead, Candy.
So I do want to keep it in context of the show, but going to colorism and featureism, there it's kind of interchangeable in our culture, because colorism is somewhat of a feature of us, and so whatever is whatever is the closest to what African looks like, they have a problem with. So that can be color and feature as well. And so I kind of get what OG is saying.
But it's the other way around too.
Can I say this?
Wait,
Color,
but it's the other way around. It's vice versa.
For you as a Black man, though, and that's another thing.
No, as Black women, because I know Black women the same way.
And
I'm just saying.
let me speak for
what I'm saying to you is this. I'm gonna let you. I'll finish what you're saying, but I'm gonna say it's not a one-sided street. It's a three-way street.
I'm gonna take it to OG. So OG not only is dealing with colorism, but featureism as well. To me, it's interchangeable. She might say that, oh, today is featureism, today is colorism. But when you look at Black people, we're discriminated for what we look like, and that includes both. And so that's basically what she was saying. But to me, with OG, from the parts that I've seen from her, it's just, okay, if it's colorism, featureism, whatever, stand in it, but don't use it as I'll just say this.
Weapon.
It just seemed like it was, I'm not going to say a weapon, but
it's a weapon.
She just pounced on it at that time because that was a hot thing to do versus really speaking up what was going on with.
Let me tell you why it's a weapon. Because if you go back to Nigerians, they don't even like us. They hate us. Black people in America, they don't even like us. So that's where I think a lot of this comes from. It's like, if you want to sit here and blame this on all of us, talk about the discrimination that comes from Nigerian people that are from Nigeria who hate African Americans.
But so
they do not like us at all.
Okay,
they will tell you up front. Somalians and Nigerians, they do not like them. People from North Africa, I think it is. They don't like us.
Right, but I think that's
why are we sitting here trying to defend them and trying to make a thing when it comes down to that?
It's not about defending them. It's not we here in America, because we're not even going to talk about Africa. But we here.
No, I'm talking about the Africans who don't like us.
Let me just say
but
this.
That's not every Nigerian.
I'm not saying everybody else don't feel the same way. But my thing is this: when it comes down to it, the problem is this: people from Africa do not like African Americans. They do not like us. Y'all should all know that. If I'm wrong,
that's, to me, that part is irrelevant to what is going on this show.
If we're keeping it strictly on the show,
it's not about the show, but it brings up facts about the show. Because my thing is this: she feels superior to us because there's colorism. Colorism does not just exist in the dark skin community. It exists in the brown skin and the light skin community as well. She made a point to say on Carlos King thing that she can't call it racism because it oppresses Black people from another race. But when it comes down to colorism, it's us oppressing the other. Why is it only one-sided?
Well, one, racism and colorism are two different things. The
Mm-hmm.
oppressed can't oppress. So she
I
was
understand that part.
100% accurate
I understand that.
in that. As a darker skinned black woman, I will
Mhm,
say this when we get to the featureism part of what she was saying, okay? And I
mhm.
am only speaking from my experience
Your
and
experience,
how
right?
I related to what she said.
Right.
Yes, there are colorism and there are brown skinned girls who look like you who are
Mhm,
more accepted than me because of
mhm.
their features were more towards the Caucasian side. They didn't have the
Like
bigger lips.
Kristen.
They didn't have correct. They had what they conceived to be the good hair, the curly hair, the slender nose. And so that's what she was saying
I
because
agree with
Carlos
that.
asked her basically why was Kristen accepted and she wasn't. And so that's where the featureism came into it.
But
You
let me
cannot
so
and wait, let me finish. Let me
okay, okay,
finish
okay,
because I was
okay.
quiet for a long time. You cannot say that part about her bringing out the featureism without bringing the full context. She brought in featureism to explain why she felt. I'm not saying it was correct. Why she
Not
felt
correct.
Kristen was that's her opinion of why she felt
Right.
that way. She brought that in when Carlos asked her, why was Kristen accepted? That's where the featureism part came into it. She was
Is
explaining
that is
why.
that is that fair?
Listen,
Yeah,
if
Yeah,
that is her
that's
yeah.
fair, yeah.
perception, if that
Right.
is her perception on, if that, listen, if you perceive a situation to be real to you, then that situation is real to you. If I
But
come in and I just be like, hey,
it
if I
also
just be
puts
like,
something on
hey, and
somebody
you
else though.
perceive it, and you perceive me to be being dry with you when
Nola.
I'm not being dry, but that's how you perceived it. And
If
until
but
I
it
tell you that is not how it was, okay, if I tell you that's not how it was, then that's not how it was. But you cannot say, like, listen, you can like OG, you cannot like OG. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people felt like she was beautiful, some people she felt like she was ugly. Here's my problem and why you can't convince me that it wasn't a colorist situation. Here's why, and I'm gonna tell you exactly
was
why.
never
OG
colorist.
said, I will bust you in your jaw, I will break your face. She used words. She never put her hands
Thank
on
you. That's what I
anybody,
want to talk
yet
about.
she was deemed
Nobody
aggressive.
ever said
Wait, wait,
none of us
let
real
me
name.
finish.
None of us
Let
real
me
name.
finish. She was deemed aggressive for saying those words, but Evelyn
Yeah,
has chunked bottles. Evelyn was running
right,
after Cece with her back
right.
turned to attack her, and
And
she
she
was not
still
deemed
signed up
aggressive.
for a
Stop
show
saying
that
that.
she ain't
And
never
then
doing that though.
listen. We are
No,
not
that she
going to
still signed up
negate
for a show with
facts
that
on what
that's
it
going on
is,
though.
but
That ain't got nothing to do.
we are not going to negate facts on what it
Are
is.
you
But you
signing up for a
negate the
show that
fact
you know
of
is
the
going
black
on?
woman experience when you say that darker women who
Are you
Are
signing
experience
up
aggressive.
for a
themselves
black
are
woman
aggressive,
experience on
but
Black
the
Woman?
lighter ones are not. Why was Evelyn never deemed aggressive? Her ass is
Nola,
aggressive.
Nola.
That don't matter. So
Are
that
you
it does not
signing
matter
up?
that she was coming on the show where they did that. The point is that she was darker and they did not do that to the lighter people.
What matters is this. Have you watched this for
If
years?
listen,
Yes,
I
I
have watched.
Have you
have.
watched
Listen,
it for years?
Yes,
listen.
Now,
I have
I have.
watched it for years, and I'm not
how-
saying
But
that's
Nola,
not
so
what
then
it's
they
why
do
would you
on
because
this
but
TV.
why would you
because
sign up for a show like
it's
this?
because she
Li-
it's
Because it's still because that was not
listen,
one of the problems on the show before she got
prosperity.
there. Nobody was calling the darker people aggressive and calling the
So
lighter people
if
non-aggressive.
it
They
wasn't
didn't
before
do
you
that
got
until she got on the
so if it
show.
wasn't before you got there, then why is it
Listen,
when you got there?
Because that's the way they made it. They
okay,
No,
used
that's the way
those
she
words
made
for
it.
her. She didn't put
they
those
used
words
those
no.
on
words. She didn't
herself.
Let
say
me
that.
just say,
She didn't call herself
let me just
aggressive.
say,
She's
let
the
me
one who
just
called
say,
out colorism on the
okay,
show.
And she
But
was
There's
the
been
one.
that was.
all kind of shades of women on that show.
Oh my
So there's no way
God.
possible that this is the
hang on.
possibility.
So
How?
let me just say
There's
this.
been all kind of girls,
So
every different shade of women that you go. Now it's about your features. Like this
okay.
woman has went to the hills on how to make this a colorism situation.
You know what makes it
I can see.
colorism?
Now
What
hold on,
makes it
wait.
colorism is she was
But wait,
aggressive in
but
her
wait.
statements,
let me
and
see what I'm
Evelyn
saying.
was aggressive in
But
her
listen,
actions.
Nola,
Yet that word was
Evelyn
not
been
used.
aggressive ever since she's been on the
But it
show.
was my point
can I
is
But
It
I
you
never
didn't
are
called
matter
her
what
that.
color
making
she
it.
was.
can
You
I
want
make
to know
one
what
point?
makes it
One quick
colorist?
point.
Why people see it as colorist is
Nola,
because that word aggressive was never used for the
right?
equally
Can I
They
just
aggressive
say
never
this?
use it on
actions.
OG. They never use
Let
it
me
on
just
OG.
They did. Oh my
No, they did
God. That
not.
was the premises of them saying
They
they
said
didn't
they
want to
wasn't
sit on the
around because she was.
stage. They feared for
Nola.
her life. This woman was about to run up and attack somebody from behind, but nobody
Okay.
feared for their
She
life from
said
her.
that. She
Get the
said it
hell out of
though.
here.
She said
What
it.
she say?
Yeah,
She
like
said
nah.
that. She said
We're
it. She
gonna
said
agree to
it.
disagree. We're gonna
Did she?
agree to
Did she not?
disagree.
Did she
We're
not
gonna
say
agree
that
to
though?
disagree.
Say
Did
it.
she
Can
not
I
say
say
that
one
though?
thing?
Let's
Wait,
continue
did
Cindy
she not
talking.
say
been
that
trying to
though?
say something for the
I'm
longest,
done.
Ransom.
Continue talk.
Did she not say that?
I'm done.
No. Cindy, what were you going to say, Cindy?
Everything that they said that she said those things.
Okay.
Cindy,
So
what
I
were you going to
understand
say?
that part.
Said
But
it.
my thing is this: you're talking about a group of friends versus a new person coming into this group.
And
Right.
listen,
It
let me
don't
tell
make
you
it
something.
right.
It don't make it right.
So
When you look at intent and everything behind
hear
it.
what
The
I'm
ling
saying. What I'm
ling,
saying.
the gorilla.
Nola,
Evelyn ain't that dumb. She knew what that meant.
Hear what
Stop
I'm saying.
playing
Hear
with
what
me.
I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm
Stop
saying.
playing with me. She
Hear
knew
what I'm
what that
saying.
meant. And
Hear
she
what I'm
lucky it
saying
was
though.
OG on that channel because I'd have ran in her shit if it was me.
Hear what I'm saying.
Then she would have had a reason to call me aggressive.
Okay. Now hear what I'm saying. Now let's say that we in a group together, right?
Right. So Deb, I'd love to
Let's
make
say
a point.
we all hung out. We all hung out this weekend, right? Right, Nola?
Correct. I'm sorry. Somebody had called me at
Okay, we all hung out this weekend. So if y'all would have said, I'm like, oh, this is some bullshit. But let's say John Doe is saying this shit to me, it's different. It to me, it causes a little bit of maybe I need to protect myself because I know Nola not gonna do the shit that Nola is saying. But if John Doe come into this group, it's a little bit different. You haven't been in the group long enough for me to receive this stuff. I know that y'all don't like basketball. I understand this part. But what makes sense to me because I've watched the show for since the beginning to the end.
We have to.
We have to.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all watch. I don't know if y'all watch
So
to like it though.
Just
Like,
because you watch it multiple times in one series and multiple times don't mean you
hear
more
what I'm
than us.
saying.
It still means the same
Hear
thing.
what I'm saying. Hear what I'm
Deb, we
saying.
hear you. Can I make
Hear
a
what I'm
point,
saying. Hear what I'm
please?
saying. Hear what I'm
Can I make
saying.
a
Let's
point?
let
One
Cindy
point.
talk.
Let
Hear
Cindy
hear what
say
I'm saying.
something. Cindy trying to
I'm trying
talk.
to finish what I'm trying to finish what I'm saying.
Cindy been trying
But
to talk
you've
for 10
been
minutes.
saying it.
I've been trying to finish my comment the entire time.
You've been saying
We
it.
have
We
heard
get
your
it.
comment
Can
a
I just
million times.
Go ahead. I'm gonna mute myself.
okay? Let me just make a quick point, please. I agree with part of what Deb is saying is that, and Nola, you had asked the question. You were just like, why hasn't it come up? And I want to make actually two quick points. One is that she was a newbie of the show. They're not. No other newbie has come on any reality show that I know of, and trying to run things on the show. OG did have that kind of behavior. It was very kind of like, it needs to be this way or I'm not comfortable. And I'm like, girl, nobody cares if you're comfortable. And Nola, to your question, when you said, how come nobody has said that to Evelyn? Evelyn was a flagship and a starter of that franchise. So they're not going to negate what she's saying versus OG. They're just not going to do it, especially when she is personal friends with Shawnee, who is one of the EPs of the show. And that's why it wasn't done. So just to answer your question, I just wanted to get that out. And secondly, the second point that I want to make as a Black woman myself, I am a chocolate drop as well. I understand that when we hear the word aggressive as Black women, in particular, the word aggressive makes us angry because it kind of dulls our ability to voice our anger, right? So we have to, no matter how calmly we can say something, I don't have to curse, I don't have to raise my voice. If I just say I don't like it and I disagree, I'm still deemed as aggressive, right? But the things that so I understand in that sense what what you're saying, like, they could say said that, why would they call her aggressive? And I would be offended if I were me, right? And then somebody like an Evelyn who is not Black and says that I'm aggressive, I would take offense to that. But do I need to go down the road of suing? Do I need to go down the road of dragging it out for
But she
a
didn't.
number of years?
But Evelyn sued
Evelyn's the
her.
one suing her.
She did sue her, but she sued her first.
And I will keep suing her.
But Evelyn is still suing her.
But I understand that. But what I'm saying is
As
that I
she
think
should.
she's trying to make a point for the show. Like that's not what the show was supposed to be centered on. Those were my only points. I just want to throw that in. You guys can have at it.
Can I just ask you this one thing, Cindy? So I hear what you're saying. Evelyn was flagship. Evelyn
Yeah.
started the series. Evelyn was friends with Shawnee.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear all of that, and I understand all of that. You get special privileges being
Yep.
friends with Shawnee.
Yep.
You get special privileges the longer you've been
You've
on
been
the
there.
show.
That's
But,
right.
but here's
As
my
you
thing.
should.
Here's my thing. To me, just my thing. Actions and words, right? If
Exactly.
my words can be aggressive, so can her actions. I
Yes.
get,
Mhm.
listen, I get the fact that she was friends with Shawnee, so she gets special privileges because she been here. But at the end of the day, there has been some overly aggressive actions. When that girl got punched in the eye and
Yeah.
had that black eye, nobody called that other girl aggressive. Those were actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
but
that's that,
you're right. You're
but that's
right.
what I'm saying. That's what makes it colorist. And you should not, like, yes, the OGs get special privileges to
That
do
was two
certain
light
things,
skinned women.
but you should not. But
It
regardless,
No,
doesn't
that was
that
two
matter.
light
is my
skinned women.
point. Listen,
So
it was two.
there was no colorism in that. When
Listen,
Sunday got punched in the eye by Drea, it was
listen,
two light skinned women.
Deb, you're not letting me finish, so you're not going to get the point.
Okay, I'm
My
listening.
point is, neither one, the lady who did the punching in the eye, light
Drea.
skinned woman, was
Mm.
not called aggressive.
Aggressive.
Right.
They
And like I
never
said,
are.
and that was my and that was my
But I'm
but that
trying
was
to
my
get you
point.
to understand why
But
people see it
that was never
as.
OG situation. That's what I'm saying.
Listen to what
Good.
I'm saying to
Listen,
you.
hear what I'm saying.
I'm saying
Okay, I'm listening
when
because
those actions were done by those women, even Tammy Roman, who I love,
who
right?
lies?
Who, regardless, they all lie according to you. Ain't that's what you said? So we
Right.
ain't gonna give
Evelyn
Tammy
Tammy
lied.
that
Yes,
Roman.
I
backpack.
didn't
too.
say that. I
I'm
said
never
that
gonna
Come on.
one
listen to no
time.
Tammy Roman interview about no shit that happened on basketball because
I'm
she
not
lies a lot.
We ain't talking
I'm
about
not
Tammy.
saying
No, she brought up Tammy.
listen, I'm not saying anything about what she's saying as far as what she talked, as far as her interviews. I'm talking about the actions that she have done. No one said that she was
Was aggressive.
aggressive. This
Right.
is the
Who,
part why
Tammy?
people listen
Right.
to me. This is
They
the
shut
part
the
why
show down
people
because of Tammy being aggressive.
listen. This, but
Do y'all
nobody
not realize
called
that they
her
shut the
that.
show down because of Tammy being aggressive?
But they
You
never
are
said
not.
it.
You are
Yes,
not
they did.
listening. You are not listening.
Shawnee went on an interview with the
He
man
not
at
gonna
the
listen.
church about
Right,
her
I'm gonna
being
stop.
aggressive.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop
just no,
making my
don't do
point.
it.
You
I'm
guys
gonna
are
stop.
missing a lot that was
Don't do
happening.
it. Don't do it.
No,
No.
because what I'm
You're
trying to
hearing what you
you
want. You're not letting her finish the statement to get the full understanding of what she's trying to say.
what I'm saying is this: those actions were aggressive, okay, regardless of the person. For me, if Evelyn, like, I'm a very call a spade person. If Evelyn, Tammy, Malaysia, when she threw the damn table, if they would have been called aggressive for aggressive actions, because
It wouldn't be a
that's what
problem.
I wouldn't say anything that this was colorist.
Thank you.
The fact that it was is get passes because Malaysia ain't a Shawnee's favorite or a
Hmm.
pet peeve or her bestie or an OG. Matter of fact, Shawnee told her to her face she lacks substance, but she was not called aggressive.
But
So
on the whole table.
and she threw a table. So if it had been the aggressive word had been passed all around every situation, then for me it would not be a colorist situation.
Exactly.
They
And
called
there's a
Brandy aggressive.
list. Oh my god.
I don't know why you're trying.
I just want to
Right.
bit it, but then they did say Brandy was aggressive.
And
You might as well let it
Brandy
go.
Max
And
Hill is
Brandy's
damn
a
near my
darker
color.
skin. Exactly. She's a darker skinned woman. So that you just proved the point that we've been trying to make.
Well, my point is that
You forgot.
finish what you said, and I'll go.
Yeah, because he forgot.
No, I didn't forget. But I didn't forget. But my thing is this: like, people who watch this show, like, we're dedicated to the show. There's a lot of outside things that are going on who makes the show worse.
Right.
And I don't like to see that part. This is not no new shit.
That's
OG wasn't the
the
first
one
person that
showing.
OG was not the first person who said aggressive. It was
Right.
Brandy. So we're sitting here arguing about OG when Brandy said this years ago.
And it's
So
still
all of a
making
sudden,
Brandy
Congress.
is a
It's
darker
still
skinned
making
hold
woman.
Congress.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying if we're talking about the words, Brandy Ben said this, but nobody took this into accountability. So
But
are
we
we
know,
supporting black
but we
women?
know the show
Because Brandy
overall.
Ben said this.
But we know the show overall is what I'm saying to the panel. What I've said throughout our reviews is that we know that the show
Right.
is aggressive overall, right?
Period.
When you take a drink and you slam it in somebody's face, uh alcohol burns, okay? So
Period.
it's not like it's a dream to sit there and go through that. We know that that's about the show, but when you take it off of quote unquote, like I said from the beginning, entertainment and into something political, like no other, all of the girls, whether they had a bottle thrown at them, Jennifer, Evelyn jumped up on a table and tried to lunge at her, she still was on the show. She didn't call that girl aggressive. She
It's
wasn't
picking.
he
OG
wasn't suing
literally
her. He
listen,
wasn't
Cindy.
suing
OG
her.
went on that interview and literally called Kristen a pick me and not even Jennifer.
Right,
She
but
is
so
a pick
So
me.
to me, it was like
she
she
is.
really there was no facts in this. If there's any pick me in this
But you
seat,
can't say
But
there
what
wasn't
made it
no
so
facts in
colorful
that.
is they
So
never set
why
none of those women
why
on a
is
different stage
I
from
don't know what nobody's
everybody
saying because
else.
everybody's yelling right now. I don't know what nobody's saying.
The thing that made it worse is, although all of these women had, and this show is aggressive, no one has ever been put
I'm talking
on a
about the
whole different stage
I'm talking
by
about
themselves. That made it even worse
the
for the
girl.
But
audience.
I'm talking about the pick me. I'm talking about the pick me.
but also
But she
prosperity
is.
thick girl, and like if that's the case, and I understand what you're
You
saying, and
don't
I
watch the
agree.
show.
But listen, I agree with what you're saying. No, they didn't separate them from the show, but nobody, you have to admit, nobody came across when they were sitting across, even though the reunions do get heated, this, that, and the other, nobody came across as like not understanding the show. I think that was
Period.
OG's problem, was that she didn't understand that it was a quote unquote show. That's why she called them actors on the podcast.
No,
She
she called them after. She called them afters,
That's what I said. Oh, afters too. She did say
not
afters,
actors. Afters.
but she also called them like they were pretending, like they were actors.
Yeah,
You
but
know, and
but Tammy
but I think
admitted that
she
she was.
didn't.
Tammy admitted that she was acting.
And that's what I was about to say for all of them, and that's what I was trying to tell you,
Yeah,
in this season before the break, is that when you're like saying that Malaysia and Brandy had a real relationship, so on and so forth, it's still a show. Keep that in
yeah.
mind, right? So they all have characters in a show. You have characters. You have the like if we let me just, I know Girlfriends is your show, but I'm just gonna say like Living Single, like
Oh,
you
no,
have the.
you have to really to me do it to them because I get what you're saying.
Okay. No,
I
I'm just
got
saying
you.
it. I'm just saying it as an example. Like for me, Living Single is easier for me. So like
Yeah.
you have like, the Regine, the kind of snooty girl, right? And so some of them are that was kind of like Drea, right? And then you have like the little cute little funny, person like a Sinclair, right? Then you have the tough, rough, like, Max, that did her thing. Then you have like a boss. Then you have like a Queen Latifah, right? So they're all playing characters, and I understand what you're saying about OG and overall as a Black community. Yes, these are issues in our community. Does it need to come out in the show and how it
No,
affects the show? I
no,
don't think that it should have.
it
I
never
feel like
should.
she should have, even if she wanted that check and she wanted that job, she shouldn't have been on that show. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like that genre, this it just didn't fit to me. She didn't fit the look. Her attitude didn't fit. She just didn't fit. And
but what
I
about
hear
her look didn't fit?
she just didn't
Her
fit the show.
let me answer this part. So she went on to actually Tammy went on to the Carlos King show, and he said that the producer said she looks a mess. Now we watched the first season that she was on. She looked a fucking mess. Like you cannot.
Like all of them did.
But
All of them looked a
everybody
mess.
looks a mess their
But
first season.
Yes.
So why we dogging her?
Listen, but hold on, wait, because that's what they said. The first is for everybody, every girl, they all look a mess. Why was OG so this most important person where she can't look a mess for her first season? He even asked her, he said, do you feel like you got hazed the first season? And she said, well, we all do. Right. So then what was the problem?
So
every girl that comes onto that show, like the watchers of the show, we know that the girls who come on knew they're going to get hazed. We all know that. But the people who don't watch the show, like it brings it down for us because we already know what's happening.
Here's what I'm saying for me as a viewer, right? Y'all know I watch reality TV. I'm very open-minded. Like I say, had it been even kill along the way, I understand certain things get said to get a reaction to make the scene. I understand all of that. If we acting, we acting. But
if we're having a show where everybody gets hazed on the first season, are you mad about that?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
So then why's OG making it a scene?
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. I can sign up for the hazing, right? It's an acting job to sign up. I know I'm gonna get into arguments. Listen, please just let me finish.
I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Just let me finish. I can sign up for the hazing. I can sign up for the drink throwing in my face because we all know that's gonna happen. Somebody gonna get a drink thrown on their face. Like we all know that. I can sign up. Oh, I'm the new girl, so they're gonna try to test me to see how far they can push me.
Yep.
Where my alliances lie. I get all of that. All of that's in the show. All of that's in the show. I can do all of that. Now, when you get on Twitter and you put what you know is a racial connotation about me.
She never did that.
So Evelyn never posted that gorilla?
You're talking about Instagram.
What is that not social media?
And you're talking about Evelyn. And
listen.
Hear what I'm saying?
You're not letting me finish my thought.
You asked the question, so I want to answer. You asked the question, let me answer it. At that time, when you put in laughing my ass off, that gorilla did show up.
And the other one showed up as well, and she picked the gorilla.
It doesn't really matter what she picked. The thing is that it showed up. So it was never a OG like, oh, you a gorilla thing. Like what I don't like is like, let's make somebody something they're not. Evelyn has never been that.
Listen. No. Because when you did that, first of all, that's taking it outside of the show, which I hate.
Well, I did it because
I hate because I feel like they sign these contracts and we know you got to do certain things for the show. I hate when they take it outside the show.
Right.
Okay. I hate when they do that. But my point is this:
you can't even find that monkey on Instagram anymore.
But you're not listening. You're not listening.
Y'all realize y'all can't find that monkey on Instagram anymore?
Yeah, because Evelyn messed it up for everybody.
Because when she typed that in and it came up, they got rid of it. So that's how
other things came up as well.
Hold on, think, girl. That's how you know that when she typed it in, it really came up. When I typed it in at that time, it did come up. So they got rid of it. So my thing is this, like, let's deal with facts. The reality
that is a fact.
But you're not listening. But you're not even.
It came up.
You're not even listening to the point that I'm
listening to you. I'm listening to you. I'm sorry. I want to bring it up. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So we want to talk about OG, whatever, being the new girl, right? She's the new girl. She's being hazed. I get all of that, right? But also in me being the new girl, all y'all know each other. So now you trying to convince me that you're not a racist. You had no racial connotation behind that. And then before that, you referred to somebody else and what is a known racial slur with the ling and the thing. You in my mind, process of elimination, like people say, if it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck,
same timeline.
It's a duck. My point is that was before.
Exactly.
No, that was after.
That was before the gorilla thing.
That was before the gorilla thing.
No, that's for y'all because y'all watched the show. The show was recorded months ago before that.
Okay,
so that was not the same time frame.
But Okay.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Then we
well,
No,
just gonna make like Evelyn is
that's facts.
100%
I'm
she
not. I'm not.
100%
I'm not
right.
saying that
She
she's
ain't do nothing
innocent.
wrong. That shit
Hear
was
what I'm
that
saying.
shit was the big aura.
I'm
I'm
not saying that
sorry.
she's innocent.
I'm
But what
sorry.
you're
Yes, you
talking
Because
are.
about,
let me tell you
that was
something.
months
Let me
ago.
tell you
After that,
something. Evelyn didn't pull that Afro Latina out until she was getting her ass was getting
she was
called.
on a
Now all of
reunion
a
with the
sudden
true.
she was
business, so
Afro
that was
Latina.
about
Now
that
she didn't
time.
go back to previous interviews. You watch it. She
That
denied
was
it in the
on the
beginning.
reunion, so that was part of that time. The reality
Now
was when
she
you touch,
extra tan. Come
when you
on
type
now.
that
Come
into
on now.
Instagram,
She ain't never was
that
bragging
monkey
about
showed
being
up,
Afro
and I
Latina
looked it up
before
myself.
that. Stop
So I
playing
know
with me.
I know that's a fact. When you
She
took that
never
monkey,
cleared it up for us.
left my ass off, that monkey showed up. Those are facts.
And it was other
I
things
looked
that
it up
showed up
myself.
as well. So you cannot just keep
Listen,
saying that's what
listen.
showed up
I'm not
because she could have picked
denying.
something else.
I'm not
So I'm
denying
not
that
calling
it
her
showed up.
racist because
I'm
of that,
not
because
denying
I
that
know
it
that
showed up.
happened.
But Evelyn playing stupid like she didn't know what
I
it
think
meant.
she typed in
Evelyn
what she
ain't
said
that
she typed
dumb.
in, and that's
She's
fact.
smart enough to bag all the men with money, but she ain't smart enough to
Well,
know what
she
racial
did because when she
connotations
said
is.
that's what I
Didn't
typed
she
in,
grow up in
I was
Brooklyn?
able to type it in and look
Brooklyn
at
is a
it. So
melting
that's
pot. You
fact.
can't tell me she didn't know what none of that means, Ev.
Nola,
Speaking
Nola.
facts and reality.
Do you
Speaking
think
facts
it?
and reality.
Do
Brooklyn is
you
a
think?
melting pot. You
Let me
can't
ask
tell
you a
me she didn't
question.
know
Let me
what
ask you
that
a
meant.
question. Let me ask you a question. If somebody says some bullshit about you, think I'm not gonna pull it up?
If somebody says some BS about me,
You think I'm gonna pull it up? I
I'm
don't
not.
even
What you
know. I
mean?
don't even know this lady. But what I do know
Pull
is that
what up?
when I pulled up, left my ass off, that monkey came up. I
And
don't.
other things
I
came
don't.
up
Hold
as
on.
well.
Wait. Stop. I
Oh
don't
my
think that
God.
I don't think that she did that on purpose because literally,
We
type
know you
in,
don't.
that monkey came up. I don't think that she did it as like a racial thing. And I mean, I don't like when people like try to make people racist for no reason.
Why
So
didn't she pick something else that
I'm
came up as
listening to
well?
that.
Why
What?
didn't she pick something else up? I mean, more than one thing came
Because
up
the
when you
monkey
pushed
was
that.
funny. It was fun. It was funny. It was
But it
funny. I
was
would have
not.
done it. I would have chosen the same
But
thing. It
you,
was funny.
Me as
so
someone,
because it was
if I
funny, that
wasn't
means she
a
didn't know
black
what that meant.
woman,
It
No,
was
no,
if
no,
never
I
a
no.
wasn't a
racist
black
thing.
woman,
Hold
I
on,
would
hold
never
on.
pick a
It was
gorilla
never. It
or
was
a
never racist. It
monkey
was never
that was
racist. It was never
laughing when
racist. It was
talking
never
about
racist.
another black woman.
It
No,
was
I
never
just
Okay,
racist. It was
so
never
okay,
Deb,
racist.
okay, stop,
okay.
stop, stop, stop,
I'm
Never
really
racist.
done.
stop. Listen, just because and ladies, I'm gonna say my piece regarding what you guys said as well. As a black woman, I'm saying so. Deb, with Prosperity and Nola are saying,
I get it.
it is
I
absolutely
get
correct.
it. I get
Somebody
it.
from a different race can't choose a monkey. Period. Let's just say that. I'm gonna just put in a quick, short sentence. You are
I
not
would never choose a monkey again
don't
in my
choose a
life.
monkey. Right. Okay. So she was wrong. And what I'm saying now, does that
In y'all's opinion, because it's not my opinion that she was
I
wrong. I
understand,
think she was
but
it
what I'm
was the
saying
wrong
is
way.
as a black
But I get
woman,
what you're saying.
I'm not gonna have somebody that is, Latino, or Latinx descent call me a monkey. We're gonna have a problem in person.
Then they gotta
Okay.
come and rescue your ass.
Right. Like
Then they're gonna be all the way right and they good people and all these things because that's the thing. It's like don't pick and choose what you're talking about because when you need to protect you, oh, these are the greatest people, but now they can't say something. To me, it's a bunch of bullshit. This
Nothing about
woman,
her is great.
this woman had been around black people her entire life. She ain't
And
never had this using this word. Now all of a sudden,
She's
because
been
y'all
around
don't like
black people
her,
her entire
she
life,
can't
so
use
her
it.
ass should have
But let
been
me tell
better.
you
she
something.
been getting money from black men all her life.
When the people are around her and they call her, she was like, I ain't even black. So, and then y'all be like, oh, well, why would she do that? The reason was because y'all don't want to receive the fact that this woman has run around black people all her entire life.
she
And
has.
I
That
don't give a
doesn't
damn.
matter.
I don't give a damn.
She just had a whole lot of black
She
up
is
in her.
always, she has
She has.
always,
She's
she
not
has always
black.
stayed black. And I don't give a damn. She has been a black woman in her entire life.
No,
And
she
she,
has not been a
She
black
has never
woman.
been a black woman.
in New York, if you have
She's
ever been
never
there,
been a
She's
black
never
woman.
been a black
if
woman.
J-Lo
you have
ain't never been a
if
black
you have
woman,
lived in
and
New
neither has
York,
Evelyn.
if you have lived in New York, then you understand
No,
why
it's
she's
It
not
saying that.
doesn't
true.
matter. She
It doesn't
still
matter.
will never
If
and
you
has
have lived in New
never
York,
been
you
a
understand
black
that.
woman. You
That's
would
your
not allow somebody to say
that's your
somebody of
personal
Latin descent that
that's your
or white
personal
or
opinion. That's your
Jewish
personal
is a
opinion.
black man.
It's not a
So
That's
why
your
personal
would we
personal
opinion.
accept
opinion.
That's
her
a
talking about she's been a
fact.
black woman all her
That's your
life?
personal opinion.
It's not a personal opinion. That's a
That's a
fact.
fact.
She has not.
Your
she
personal
will
opinion is
never.
that she has
She
to
will
live
never
around black
listen.
people.
She will
New York
never.
don't
And
discriminate when it
okay,
comes down to
so
black
Deb,
people and
so
Latino
Deb,
people, period. But you
so
have
Yes,
to
they
live in
do.
black
Deb,
to understand
so
that.
Deb, I understand. I
If
like
you
her
live
too.
in New York, you have to
Listen,
understand how they live. And when it comes to Latino people and
listen,
black people,
listen,
there's no
listen.
difference.
I
And it still
understand
don't
what you're
make them
saying.
black.
Okay,
When
let
they
me
get
say
pulled
something.
over, it does.
Prosperity, please. Let me
When they
just
get pulled
make this.
over, it does. Because they
It.
still
Oh
black
my
when they
God.
get pulled over.
Listen. So Deb,
Oh
listen.
Lord.
I
That's
now
facts. Is that not
let
facts?
no, it's not.
Is
No, it's
that not
not.
facts when
Let
they
me
get
just
pulled over?
No,
They're
can I
not black?
finish?
no.
Let
They're
me
a
just
person of
follow.
color. They're not black.
Y'all must not have seen them get pulled
Stop.
over then, because I know
Stop.
for a
Stop.
fact
They're a
I have
person of
seen
color.
Latino people being pulled over
It's
and
not
they
the
look at them as black people. So I don't care what y'all
not
say.
the
I
same.
watched my Latino people get
I
pulled
watched
over
it too.
from New
Why would
York,
you
from
say
Ohio
their
to Atlanta,
experience is
and
not
they
the
look at them
same
as
as a
black
black
people,
person?
period.
Their experience is not the same as a black person.
I
We
don't
get
think that
worse.
experience as black, but when it comes to
We
a
get
cop,
worse.
it does.
Period. Nobody. If you go to
When it comes to a cop, it
listen,
does.
if you go to
No,
any
that's
Latino
well, that's the case. Asian people
prosperity,
are
let me
too.
just finish, please.
I don't
If
know
you go
Asian
to
people, so I
any
don't know their experience.
listen, and I have them in my family, and I have them as friends. If you go to any other race, and let's not even keep it Latino specific, Latino, Asian, any other culture, anything other than black. If you
They go
ask them,
home.
listen, if you ask them, I don't care how much you've been around them and you marry them and you bear children with
Mm-hmm.
black people, if you ask a different race, if they want to be black,
They
they're
say
going to
no.
say no.
No.
They're going to say no. So there you
But
go.
when the cop pull up next to you, what they look at you as? Black. That's
Black.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
don't treat them as black though. Let's get it straight. Her
Well, I never now that part I
Evelyn's
never
walking,
seen.
Evelyn's walking life. I don't care how close she is, how many people, how many babies she's had, and both of her kids have black fathers. It doesn't matter. She is still not a black woman. You
The
can't say
guys
the
that I
monkey.
know there are my skin tone.
You can't call.
And when
You
they go
can't say the monkey.
when a
You
cop pulled
can't
them
do it.
over, let me
Oh
say
my.
something. They
So
treat me
Deb,
they treat them worse than me.
let's just move on because we're
No,
getting.
I'm just saying like
Let's move on. No,
we can move
let's
on.
move on.
I'm
Let's move
telling
on.
you from my personal experience
I understand that, and I
that
have
the
more
dudes that
and I
I
have more
know,
experience on
they
the earth than you
I
do.
don't care
But
about the
let's
skin
stop.
tone. They treat them as black people,
Stop.
and
Stop.
it
No.
doesn't
They
look
treat
No,
good.
them
they
as
treat
people
them
of
as
color.
brown people.
They treat
They
them as
treat
people
them
of color, but
Thank
like they
Thank
you.
are
Evelyn,
you.
J Lo, and
NIGGA.
none of them will ever get
Ever.
They
treated
will never
like
get that
Sandra
experience.
Bland
Thank you.
or like I've been treated.
Did I not just say
Never.
that? I said
Never.
I know 3 people who have died from cops. That's what I'm saying. Like
And it still wasn't because
They
they
still
looked at them as
die.
black people.
it
They
was.
may have looked at them as people of color,
Thank
So
you.
but
you know
as
that
black, no.
you know that for a fact. Because I'm
Yes.
telling you
Do
what I
you
was
know
told.
that they
I'm
looked at
telling you
them
what I
as
was
black
told.
people as a fact?
I'm telling you what I was told. This is my thing. Like we all have different experiences, right?
Yes, but you're
Don't
not a
argue
black
down
woman.
my point of life. What I've
You don't
experienced.
argue down all of
I
our
would
points.
never. I
But
would
you're
You
not.
have argued
never
every last one of our points.
take a timeout because I would never do that with y'all. When it comes down to people that I've experienced with, I know that they thought they were black. For a fact, you cannot argue that down with me. I know that. The people are dead and they're gone. So I could
Okay. It's
never
not
sit
the
here and be like,
same.
"Oh, this is not." I thought that
It's not.
they call them NIGGAs.
They don't treat them the way that we are. The numbers that in which they torture
Depending on the
and
skin
kill them.
tone.
Listen, the numbers in which they torture and kill them is still lower than
I
black people.
understand that,
So
but
let's move on.
it depends
Let's just
on the
move on.
skin tone of the person who
It
you
does
think is
not.
black or
It's
not.
not like that. That's where you are. I'm talking about around the world. Okay, so California is a much more liberal state, and that's where I live. Okay,
I live
so
in
maybe
Georgia,
in Georgia, that's what I was about to say. So maybe
so
in
it's
Georgia,
different.
that's your perspective.
It's
Okay, but
very
I'm
different.
talking about across the country, all over the country, the numbers of brown people that are killed and that are treated the way that we are treated is lower than the way that we are across the country, and that's facts. That's
All
it.
I'm saying
Let's
is
move on.
here are the different perspectives. I understand what you're saying, what Thick Girl is saying, but when it looks like what it looks like for people that's here in Georgia is different. And y'all don't know that because y'all don't live here.
I know, but my people are
What
from
it
the
looks
South.
like for them, it matters to them because I know my friends are dead. So I can't argue back and forth with y'all about my friends because
We're
I
not
know
even.
what happens to
How
them.
do we get to
I
your
know the
friends?
reason
How
why
do
was
we get
because
to
they thought they were
basketball
black.
wives and Evelyn to your friends? This is not personal.
I
I'm
don't know how
not
we
the
got to Evelyn. I don't know how we got to Evelyn with this. I don't know how that
I
part we
can
got
tell
to.
So
you
let's
how we
No, we
got
don't know how we
here.
got to your friends.
let's move forward. Let's move forward. Okay, so where are we going to wrap up? Because we can go back and forth with
Yes, because
this
I'm like so
for
confused at this
hours.
point.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Oh, we were talking about colorism. That's why we got here. And
Okay,
so
well,
my thing with colorism is this. Colorism does not just exist for dark skinned people or light skinned people. It exists for all brown skinned people. And I hate the fact that it
you
doesn't
mean
exist
people
for
of
all of
color?
us.
You mean
Huh?
it exists for all people of color,
Yeah, for
right?
all people of color, period.
Okay.
Because for me, from what I've experienced, this is my own personal experience. Dark skinned people and light skinned people take over colorism. The rest of us just have to deal with it. And to me, it's unfair because we all deal with colorism, period. And the reality is that nobody's better than anybody else.
Right, but if we're talking about, if we go back to the show, we're talking about those girls there. They're a mixture of all colors. Nobody was not open to hearing, especially in the last season of when OG was on. Nobody was not open to talking to her about it. In fact, Malaysia and what's her face,
Kristen,
Kristen went over to her to get
well,
her
we're talking about different
perspective,
shades of
and
women.
she didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
OG chose not to talk about it, right? So they tried, she didn't want to do it. And that's my problem with OG
Right.
is that now years later that you've been off of the show, come back and be like, well, they did this and this. They did try. We saw the proof and the effort. What I don't like is that you've
What
had even women that have been on the show that has had conflict with, with the OGs, like a Shawnee, Tammy, and or Evelyn. They had issues. You never hear about them anymore. What I have a problem with her is that she keeps coming back with this stuff, and those girls have been light, dark, in the middle, mixed. They've been
so you
everything.
know that she went into the show and she said that she cannot deem these women as racist.
I understand.
She has to deem them as colorist.
Okay, and that's
She
fair,
said
and they may be,
she
and they
said
may be.
that she said that I want to make sure I say all this. Why the hiccups? She said that she has to deem them as colorist or colorism, and I'm like, why are you looking for a space to bring black people?
Right.
The reality is that they don't like you, period. And it's not a colorism, a racism problem.
They just
It's
don't like her
they don't
personality.
don't
They don't
like
like the
you.
person. Yeah.
And she went on this channel. She made these statements, and it's bringing people together about this conversation that she's had. And I don't like it because it's like nobody really give a damn about what color you are or your features. When you came onto the show, you looked a mess. Period.
Right.
She went on and she said, "Oh, they made me wear these wigs," and I'm like, "Well, you could, if just like you said that you'd have to do all the other things. Why'd you have to wear these wigs?"
Right.
Like she has so much control, but then no control when it comes down to her appearance, and that's why I want to be with you. Why these hiccups? I want to talk about you because I'm like, we understand this part. It's like you're giving these excuses about this bullshit you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You saying that it wasn't about how you look, so we know that's not a fact. We know it's not about your color because you said that. It's not about your features because you said that. So then, what do you want from everybody?
Right. And that's been my question with her from the very beginning. Like I said, like most people, if you're going to join a cast of something, you are pretty sure and clear, and you do your research
Right.
on what kind of show you're going to be on, right? Even if it's just to talk about your real life. I want to look up these women. Who was a Shawnee? Who was a this? Who was a that? If you don't know, but I feel like she did know, and she still went on to the show,
She did.
and it was
She let
expected.
out that she watched the show before it happened.
Right. And
So
that's what
she
I'm saying.
knew.
and I think she expected to be treated differently than anybody else, and when
Right.
she wasn't, and she still got hazed. I think because of her personally, and again, this is just my personal observation of her, is that she has a self-esteem issue with herself. Like she has a challenge, right? She is African, and she is American, but she's really literally from Africa. Her people, her parents are from Africa, and she should be proud of her heritage. And nobody's saying that you can't go on a reality show and not show that and focus on that and showcase that and talk about it. But they still gave her the hard time, just like they gave Malaysia for years. She wasn't
Everybody
accepted.
who joined
So
the everybody
anybody
who
who,
joined the show.
yeah, anybody who's been on the show, they
Yeah.
give the new people a hard time. And so for her to then make it be something to bring down the
That's
show,
bullshit. It's bullshit.
it's total bullshit, and that's where I'm coming from. It's
She
like
literally sat there.
you're taking the entertainment aspect of a show
Yes.
that you signed on for, knowing
Right.
that that's what the show is, how the show is set up, right? It's
Like
kind of like
you
if
literally
if they
walked over to the show and said, "I want to be a part of this," knowing what it was about.
right. I mean,
And
it's like
to
Excuse me,
me,
y'all. I didn't want to be rude and just drop down. About to go, y'all. Supposed to be live. Love y'all.
all right,
Thank y'all
bye,
for the
bye.
love you,
convo.
prosperity. Have a
Bye
good
All
bye.
right,
night.
good night.
You too. Good.
Yeah, I
Okay,
and
go ahead.
that's where I have an issue with her from. And I feel like if she also had those issues on the show, she could have just said, you know what,
Said that.
I'm not gonna sign on for the extra
Right.
years. Let me just finish out this and move
Right.
on. You know, there's a certain sense of professionalism that needs to happen, and you can talk about it behind the scenes and sue them, in fact, you know, HR, and try to get money for it if you felt like you were being discriminated against. I just felt like the attitude, the vibe that
That's
she
my
gave to the show
biggest
was
issue.
was an issue. And it's kind of like, you know what, if I'm not gonna, if somebody is making me feel a way, I'm gonna handle it in a way that is professional, because this was supposed to be a springboard into helping her
Right.
into her next career, since she was going to retire from football. So it's kind of like, but now she's kind of blackballed herself by being so negative. You know, it's like, who would want to hire you
But she
because
can't
of
help but being negative. That's the thing. It's like she's
I,
so negative.
I just, but yeah, but I think it's because of her, in my, like I said, in my humble opinion, is her self-esteem. I feel like she's trying to be both worlds. Like, you know, she's trying to
But
be
she
African, but
doesn't
she's
feel that
an
way because she's
American.
like Kwame is with her. She's
Yeah,
getting married to him. Chad still wants her. She's been talking to Chad. Like
right.
her confidence is at a different level. And
Yeah.
I understand it in one point. Why do I have these hiccups? She has this confidence in one space,
And
but
then
the
not in
reality
others.
is that she doesn't really have it.
she
Because
she
if
has
you
it
did,
she has it in the way of, like, in personal relationships. She doesn't have it in the way where she can go at it back and forth with different women. Do you know what I'm saying? That's been
Mm.
my observation. I feel like whether it's a Kristen, she had an
I'm gonna
issue
get
with
some water
her.
because I can't really get rid
Okay.
of these,
And I'll
these
just,
hiccups.
we'll keep it going for you. I was just going
All
to
right.
say that, you know, for example, she had an issue with Kristen and she made it a quote unquote featureism thing. Then she slash had an issue with Evelyn because Evelyn is not black. Then she had an issue with Shawnee, even though Shawnee is of a lighter skin complexion. She's a executive producer, and then she felt discriminated against because she was the new kid and she wasn't allowed to bring her phone. Like, which struggle is it? Is my point. You know what I mean? Like, she just seems angry overall. And I just don't think that, you know, if we're talking about a show that is based on frivolity and kind of like, you know, kind of trashy reality stuff, you know, you know, ranting and Nola, as viewers, do you want to see it go all the way to a political, social level, to where you're saying, you know what, let's focus on this thing that I have to focus on in my personal life? Or do you just want to click on the TV, see the cat fight, and then have it be over?
I'm going to say this. We can say, oh my God, yes, it's entertainment, and that's where we're supposed to leave it. But
Mm-hmm.
we all know, in some sense, of every form of entertainment, real conversations get brought up. It does not matter what you're watching, it does not matter what you're listening to. At some point in time, your entertainment will hit on real topics, real things going on in lives,
Yep.
because it affects everyone around you and the people on your TV screen. You can legitimately say, well, I don't want to listen to anything about colorism or texturism or featureism when it comes to this show. However, that's not the case anymore. If it wasn't OG, it was going to be someone else. And I want to
Right.
say that if it was not OG, it would legitimately have been someone else. So you can't just say, well, she's this, she's that, because it would have been
But who? But who
it,
would win? Because even if we go to Love and Hip Hop and all those girls, they like Erica Mena, they like they've had Latin girls on there too. When has this ever come up?
when
If
it
it wasn't
came
going to be OG.
well, when it came to Love and Hip Hop, it was Spice. It was Spice and being told that she needed to change her look by someone in the industry if she wanted to be accepted
But in the
into
music
America.
industry, not her on the show though, right? Because she was accepted on the show in the
She
music
was
industry.
but here's the thing. She was said It was said to Spice on the show. It was an entire scene. And then we saw it play out on social media. And then
Mm-hmm.
months later, when the show was edited together and put out to us, we got to see it play out on the show. And when we saw it on social media, I can say we all said, what the hell is wrong with Spice? And did she really bleach her skin? We
Right.
saw it play out on the show and how it went from this man in the industry telling her, well, if you want to be accepted into American music, if you want to be acclimated here, if you want people to take you seriously, or if you want to do anything else, you need to change your entire look. And then she
Right.
took it a step further to actually talk about the bleaching that happens of black skin in her home country. So
Right.
if it wasn't Spice, if it wasn't OG talking about these things, it would have been someone else. I don't hate.
But what I'm saying is ranting really quickly, and yeah, I'm going to let you finish. I just wanted to ask in that in your thinking in that, yes, we have the conversations. We as Black people are probably always going to have these conversations. But when you take it to a level of, you saying you're going to punch somebody's face in and tackle them and suing, and then somebody to a cast member, we've never seen that happen though. We've
We've
never
seen,
seen it.
but here's the thing, we've seen people say, and I don't care how, listen, I can say something as calmly as possible, and I'm no way, shape, or form a dark skinned black woman. I know I'm a
Mhm.
brown skinned black woman. But I can say as calmly as possible to someone in my own community and on the outside of my community that if you keep trying me, I'm a like I'm gonna put hands on you. I
Mhm.
can say that and be taken as aggressive by both, whoever I'm talking to. And
Mhm.
that's where my thing is, there's a thing versus the words I'm speaking versus my actions. I said what I'm gonna do. I haven't done it yet. And if you
Right.
take that as aggressive, then I took however you were speaking to me or the situation I am as in aggressive. So I had to respond that way. Now, if I would have put my hands on you, then yeah, like I get words are aggressive. I can be aggressive. And you know what? I own that. But then again, it's like I'm not aggressive. I'm passionate because if I felt tried, if I feel some type of way and I voice what I could do to you versus physically doing something to you, that means in my mind, I understand what me putting my hands on you could lead to for me, not
Right.
you, for me. And me saying it versus doing it is a whole lot better because, in my opinion, I feel like OG saying what she could do versus what she physically could do was a lot better than physically doing it because she knows her strength and she decided in her head somewhere, in my opinion, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to do it because I
That's not what
know
the show was
what.
about, though.
It's not what the show's about. Plus, also, she didn't do it because she wants her check. They didn't pay her. They weren't going to pay
Right.
her until the end. And that's how they try out new people, is to bring them on. And of course, you're going to get the lowest salary. You're going to get the lowest viewing time. You're going to get the lowest of everything because you're new. Nobody's invested in you, right? As a character yet.
They said that she had the biggest fan base. I was like, who was her fan? I didn't understand any of that part. Carlos King said that on his channel. I was like, what are you talking about?
A
Right.
lot,
OG was like the least favorite person for me on that show because I
but
knew what's going to happen.
that
And
was
when she did come on and she caused this problem, I was like, we never came on this show to watch this. Like, people didn't understand. Like, I know the new people came on because she came over there, but go back and look at what we were watching before this. They were a mess the entire time.
And
So
and to your
why
point,
does OG
and
have
to
to be the savior of this?
and to your point, so Deb, and to your point, ranting, is that even if it does happen with other people, I think what changed it for OG, to in my opinion, is that it was her attitude. So for example, if
Yeah,
we're going to go back to a Spice addressed it professionally, right? She didn't do it as an offense to any other cast member. She wasn't talking about
But
production. She wasn't coming across that way. She wasn't, quote unquote, coming across aggressive.
but
Right.
here's the thing with that situation with Spice, and then I'm gonna finish, and then I'm gonna drop down because I need to go make a call. When it came to the Spice situation, it wasn't a cast member, it was someone on there who works in the same industry as her. She
Mhm.
then does everything, and then her and Mimi get into a situation because Mimi, not a dark skinned black woman, she's a brown skinned black woman, versus Spice, a dark skinned black woman, are going back and forth about their skin tones and everything that they've had to face as black women, just on different levels.
why
Right.
do we have to? Why do we have to always be
But then,
in this
but then
space?
I'm getting to my point of y'all like, well, why does it have to be on this? Like I said, entertainment as a whole, whether you like it or not, whether you want to hear the conversations about it, whether you want to actually speak about it, or you just want to bury your head in the sand about it, we are always going to have these conversations, whether you
Absolutely.
want to have them
We
or
will.
not,
Yes, sir.
across all platforms. All of this has always shown colorism, texturism, racism, featureism,
Yes.
homophobia, transphobia, phobias, isms, and everything in between in a roundabout circle as a whole. All of this we have seen over the years on our television screens, whether it's a
Yep.
reality
But
show, whether it's a scripted.
why join a show that you already know what it's like though? That's my thing. It's like OG knew this before she joined this show. Yes, she brought something new to the show, but she knew what the show was about. So then why join a show where you know where you're not going to be welcome? All the other girls, even Carlos King said to her, he was like, well, you know, the girls get hazed the first season. She was like, well, they knew I was the designer. Yeah, your designs look a mess. So then, like, are we supposed? Do we have to like them?
That I don't. Here's my thing. I don't think that's the point she was trying to make. The point she was trying to make
What was
is
the point? Yeah, what's the point?
I you don't okay, so the whole like oh she designed. I didn't know she designed anything. That's not something that we
She
actually
made that a very heavy conversation on that interview with Carlos King about she can't take advice from girls who need designers or stylists to style them because she styles clothes. I'm like, but what you had designed that first season looks a mess. So who would even want that? Like, she is
but that
oblivious
but
to the
here's that
point that her
here's
shit
the
looks
thing
a mess.
about that. That's your opinion of her. And that's what a lot like some people in
Did you
around
watch
about
it and you liked it?
I didn't even listen. I didn't even
Tammy, the girl who she's
I'm
vouching
not
for. Let me tell you this: the girl that she's vouching for, Tammy, says she had on a Jiffy popcorn pop hat.
Yep.
So her friend, who she's all giving all this credit to, still thinks she looks a mess. She looked a mess. So and Carlos said, you know, when you go into these shows, you get haze your first season. We all know that.
Yep.
but
So
production
it's just like to me, it's just like she caused so much shit on that show that doesn't make sense to me because it's like
but you
we knew when OG came on they were going to hate her on that show. If she didn't like it, why would she even join the show?
she didn't here's my thing. You said, well, she didn't like it, she didn't have to join the show. Well, they didn't have to cast her. They didn't have to give her a contract. They didn't have
But
to do
we're talking about casting versus the cast of the show.
Right.
So you going on to with Evelyn, you going on with Shawnee, all these people, you know they're going to hate you. Now the production team is different from them. And even the production, because Tammy said that they told her that OG can't dress.
and
And Tammy, to me, this is the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life. Cindy, tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
Tammy went on and she said that she befriended OG because she knew that they thought she looked a mess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna drop down, y'all.
Who's
I have to
dropping
go
down?
make my
Ranting.
I have to go make my
Okay.
call.
Have a
How
good
did
night,
you how did you
Ranting.
feel about that,
You
Cindy?
too.
I feel like, I feel like exactly. I mean, we said this way earlier in this conversation is that, if Tammy in the beginning, when she first joined the cast, when OG first came on, she was a closer friend to Shawnee. So she was throwing her under the bus. So does that make Tammy a real good friend?
Well, no,
Probably not.
she said that when OG came, that the producer told her she looks a mess, she can't dress.
I
And
understand
then,
that, but
and then
when she
Tammy made her
filmed with
personal
her,
mission to be her friend.
yeah, but okay, so she said she made it her personal mission to be her friend. However, we all know the facts is that she still threw her under the bus. I saw the disc. I saw her giggle. I saw her laugh. Even if she didn't
She
make
did.
the right, even if she didn't make the negative comments or jokes about OG, she still participated and she still laughed.
Absolutely.
Now, the one time that the first time, let me just say that I saw her stand up for OG was when they had gone to that beachy restaurant and they were talking about
Absolutely.
like CC, and all of that. And so she was just like, well,
Tammy
OG,
was never really a friend to her.
no, she was like
Ever.
she was like once again just a cast member. It's just like once again it's like a co-worker. She didn't really know that girl. She knew the other girls
Never.
longer, even though we know that she didn't ever like Evelyn. And then her Shawnee was like in her mind at that time she considered her as a friend. So
Right.
I just don't understand like why she's saying like all of a sudden production's doing all this evil stuff. Well, production is going to do what it's got to do to create and maintain
A
the show,
show.
period. And I understand that once again these bigger topics like racism, colorism, featureism, any isms that have to do with
But
us.
let's deal with it in a real situation, not basketball wise.
Right, I was going to say
That's my
with
thing.
us. Well, no, there's still, let me just say, there's still that thin layer that can kind of
It's a
shimmy its way in.
possibility. I get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's like,
But let's
what,
not deal
we
with
might talk
our
about
like
it.
with our for fun shows.
Right, but
with
when
this.
you're gonna come onto a show and then the show possibly being canceled forever because you are trying to take down the show, that's where I had the problem.
That's why I have an issue with that too.
Yep, that's where I had the problem. Like when you're you come on, whatever, regardless of
And
what
she
you
has no
sign.
issue with she has no issue with even thinking that's okay.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, so you came on for this.
Right. Well, and that's what it kind of feels like. But I don't think she really, in my personal opinion, I don't think she really, that was her goal to come on and take down that show. But again, I don't know that lady. So I don't know.
Until it was time for her to do it, though. That's how I felt. Because it's
I
like,
felt like she was trying to get her money. And then when it didn't go in her favor, then she started to pull out the other stuff. Now, not to say, I'm just saying, as a community, we're always going to have to deal with these issues. It doesn't matter what show, whether it's
well,
fun,
we are going to do it.
we're always going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. But what I'm saying is that she took it to a different level because I was going to say of any of all of the past women that have been on the show that we can say were quote unquote mistreated, right? They weren't done right. Nobody liked them. They didn't
And
bring in
not
numbers.
just black women.
But it was mostly black women, and you've never
No,
heard any of them.
Susie was treated very bad.
No, Susie, they liked Susie. They like Susie.
Susie kept going in and out with them girls. Susie is to the point where she will never come back to the show. Do you know that?
No. Susie doesn't want to come back to the show because she feels like
it was traumatizing for her.
Yeah, she was done with the show. But again,
so OG's play is not no different.
No, but for those ladies, no. They didn't fire Susie. Susie chose to not come.
They fired OG because
they fired OG.
Okay, so I get you. I get what you're saying
Yes,
on that. My
that's what
thing
I'm
is
saying. Like
this.
it was her choice. Like if Susie didn't
But
want to come back,
they didn't
it
have to
was because it
fire.
wasn't because they weren't
They didn't have to fire Susie
right.
for her to understand how difficult for it was for her. So
Exactly.
I'm not sitting here thinking like this is a racist place or a colorism thing because we still have Susie. Susie doesn't. They Evelyn said of her own mouth, it's traumatizing for her.
Yeah, she doesn't want to come back, and
So
that's her choice.
I'm not going to sit here and think that what OG is saying makes it any different.
Yeah,
Like,
and
girl,
and
you had the same bad experience everybody else had.
right,
Yes, we understand that Shawnee has her friends, which is Evelyn.
right.
But it's the show been insane. So why would you even sign up for a show that you're not gonna be in favor in?
Absolutely. And that's been my whole point from the very beginning. Like, you don't sign a contract to something like, I mean, unless in my opinion, unless you're stupid. I'm not
Right.
gonna sign
And she
my
signed
name
too.
on the dot. Yes, on my name on the dotted line to come back to anything that
Right.
made me feel less than or that
Right.
discriminated against me. I'm just not gonna do it. So why would you come on for 3 seasons and the third being
Right.
the worst? Because that at that point I felt like the show was going to be over. Why would you come back there, just sit there and try to bring down the show? I just
Because
don't
her one was
understand
she's
that.
trying to bring down the show. That's period. That's all she's trying to do.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, why would you do that? And look at what has come from it. Have we seen her in anything else?
No.
Has she done anything else? What has come
Well,
from
she said on Carlos King thing that she has other things. Carlos King said that he would put her in something else.
well, then let her then do that. She
So
could have
I would
done that
love to see
years
her do
ago.
something else, but when it comes down to basketball wise, like
Just stay off
absolutely
of that.
not.
Yeah, just stay off of that. We don't need to see you back. Nobody wants to, and again, do I feel bad for the other women? And like I said, there have been what was that girl's name? So Deb, do you remember her, the one that was calling Evelyn a whore?
Kenya.
Kenya, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we've never heard a peep from Kenya. She was a darker skinned
Well, you
black
know that's
woman.
Tammy's friend. That's Tammy's friend now too.
Oh, Kenya, is she?
She's Tammy's friend.
Okay.
Everybody who hates Evelyn is Tammy's friend.
Oh, got it.
Because
Okay.
she said she has said that for multiple seasons that they're friends.
Got it. Okay. Well,
But I'm
I'm
just like,
glad that you made a
well,
friend.
yeah, I'm like, well, why are you friends with her? But it's because she doesn't like Evelyn, period.
Right. And look, we know that there are people like that exist, right?
True.
It really
True.
is kind of immature, but once again, like I said earlier, we know that Tammy is not a dummy to this reality game,
Right. Well,
so
she told Carlos King that she went on acting. But then
okay,
OG when I said they were what she just said they were
acting.
actors.
She said
No,
she said afters as far as
afters, yeah.
afters with plastic surgery. But then that like
But
that
why
would
are
be
you
like
so mad
me.
about these girls having their surgeries? Like if they
Right.
would have them.
Right, but I was gonna say, but if I will watch a show, that's like me being me, and then going on to a cast like Beverly Hills. That
Right.
all of those women have, I'm sorry, housewives, and I don't even watch that. The only housewives I've watched is ATL and some of Potomac. Right, I keep
Right.
trying to get into it because I'm trying to support us, but uh, it's hard. But anyway, I'm just that would be like me going on to one of those shows like Garcelle, and I just feel like I would never choose to do that because I know
Right.
I'm going to have a problem, right?
Right.
I don't want to see all those faces and boobs and everything and either injected, pulled, snapped, filled, all of that. Like that's just not my who I am. I don't choose to surround myself with those kinds of people, whether it's for a check or not for a check. So if I were OG, I would look at that cast and be like, those are not my people, go on a natural
Before
show.
you sign up for it.
Right. Like
So
I
then
just,
don't go on and like bash them because you
right.
signed up for that. Like
Yep.
to me, it's like she is so
Multiple
yeah.
times.
She
She
was like,
signed up for
I
it
signed up
multiple
for
times.
5 years. Carlos was like, well, it was
No.
up to 5 years.
Right.
Like Carlos really checked her or whatever. And I
Right.
love the fact that he did that.
Because he
He was
knows
like,
that business. He knows the
yeah,
business. Like he produces these shows. I mean, there
yeah,
would be no Roja if it wasn't for Carlos King And I'm not saying I'm a fan of his, but I mean, facts are facts. Period. Okay, there will be no show, and he brought that show, not Andy, him. So he was the producer. He brought the cast in. He brought Nene in. All of that. So I'm just saying, like, he knows like that kind of mixture that of people that you need to have, and what their timing is of it. Like, they're not going to sign a nobody. Like, I'm sorry, in women's football, maybe she was a somebody, but I had never even heard of this woman before she was a cast member. They're not going to sign you to 5 years, and they don't even know how you're going to interact with the
Well,
cast.
he let us know at the beginning of the interview that OG was not she was a non-motherfucking factor.
Right.
Because we never, like, she literally didn't have a contract for 5 years.
No.
There was a possibility of 5 years. And then when they went the other 2 years, she didn't sign it, and they fired her. So she was never a factor in the show.
Absolutely. Plus, she was negative to the show. Like, she was trying to bring the show down. So of course they're not going to renew her.
She was bringing the colorism, and I would say it's always it's the death of a show.
Mm-hmm.
They try to do it with Potomac, and then they try to do it with Basketball Wives. It's the death of a show.
But it's like
I don't
that
care what
with
anybody says.
With all
It's
of
the
these
death of a show.
Yeah, even if we go back to
When it comes to Black women, it's the death of a show.
Right. When we go to something like a Married to Medicine, what I find interesting in that particular scenario is that you have Anila, who was the only non-Black cast member, and then you had Carrie before her, and both of them are not carrying the show. They don't have any clout to bully the show, right? It would have to be one of the other women, one of the other Black women that says, this light-skinned person is making me feel quote unquote away. And that is what the OG situation was to me with Basketball Wives. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
with this show, like they want to take it down, so they're doing whatever they can do to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact is that people like this show. I mean, we know we like it, but the way that he put it, like, I know that he was vouching for her, but he was like, that's your opinion. This is not how this really works.
And that's not how it works.
Yeah, I think that was the major thing for me to watch. It was like, at least he said that to her, because it's not, you can't take down the show by yourself.
Right.
Because you have an issue. The reality is this show been going on for years.
Right.
And it works. People have been watching the show, and they got mad when she actually came onto the show. Right. People hate the show, but just stop watching the show. Let the people who like it watch it.
Just watch it, right? And I will say this, you know, to bring it full circle to what the other ladies and panelists say, because, you know, as a Black woman, I'm going to stand with them on that point too. That, you know, this.
You don't have to stand with us, Cindy. It's okay. No, it's very clear where you all stand. It's very clear.
No, but I do stand there because that's my life experience.
Because it's fair.
You know, it's just my life experience. I can't.
No, Deb, it's not fair. I've been sitting up here quiet, and it's not fair. Like, listen, if we're gonna be real with each other, right, and we're gonna be real with each other, like, we're gonna call a spade a spade. To sit up here and talk about when she said about them girls being after bodies and she shouldn't come on this show, she made that statement because they were calling her ugly. So when she called them after bodies, listen, it was told to
she
her.
said out her own mouth.
Deb, see, that's why I've been quiet. I ain't gonna argue with it because the facts of the matter is this: you just don't like OG. But she have said in several interviews that those girls have called her ugly. Evelyn has called that woman ugly. So her point of calling them after bodies was but we're not gonna conflate facts. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna conflate facts and issues. Her calling them after bodies was due to the fact that she was being called ugly. Meaning, don't get on here and try to flex on me for my looks. When I look the way I look, don't flex on your bought body, your bought face, your bought lips, your bought ass, and your bought legs. Like, we're not gonna do that. So to say, she should have looked at the women and say, because they buy their bodies. No, that's not my people. So because I don't want to buy my body, I shouldn't go out for opportunity against people who buy their body.
No, how we get here? When she said out of her own mouth, they never called her ugly. She said that out of her own mouth.
Okay.
She said that.
Okay, but that's on this interview. But I've heard her say they call her ugly. And they were making fun of her.
With Carlos
They were
King,
like, so we're gonna act like,
with
but like
Carlos
I
King,
said,
she
you know
said they
what?
never called her ugly.
It's
She
all
said they
right.
never
Y'all
called her
can
ugly.
have it. Good night. Y'all clearly like only care about Evelyn and the faves. They do nothing wrong. Y'all
Well,
got
I
it.
mean, so
I
no,
love
let
you to
me
death,
let
my
me let
dear.
me
Good
let me
night.
ask, let me ask
Good
you a
night.
question. Let me
I'm
ask you a
done.
question.
I
Let me
don't
ask you a
really want to
question.
answer no more questions.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't feel like y'all
Let's
are being
let's say
fair.
we have
I don't feel like that.
let's say
Like to sit up here and say she was trying to destroy the
Nola,
whole show. I don't think
Nola.
that was her intentions. Talking about colorism, like for me,
It's
the throwing
wrong.
bottles, the throwing glasses, all of that can ruin the show. Like we're not gonna just make it like this one lady's actions was trying to ruin that show.
It was.
Okay, so let me tell you,
Like,
if
that's
you
a
had
fact.
way more Asian people who watch
And
basketball live, that show
nobody
would have
tried
been
to,
canceled then
no,
because they got
nobody
an
tried to
Asian
ruin
hate
that
bill
show.
quicker than any bills that we've ever got.
No one ever tried to ruin that
Stop
show.
it. Stop it. Cindy,
No
y'all
one tried to
just
ruin
sat
that
up here
show.
and was saying she's trying to get the show canceled. She's trying to
She
ruin the show
was trying to get
because
the show
she
canceled.
was treated a certain kind of way. Like, I just don't think y'all are being fair. It's one thing to like who you like, but you have to try to see things from both sides. That's why I'm like,
I
nah, you
do.
don't gotta defend us. You don't gotta sit up here and act like, you know what I'm saying, you agree with what we said or you even understand what we said. You know what I'm saying? Like at
Can
the
I
end
ask
of the
you a
day,
question?
if it's a show, it's a show. I
Can I ask
I
you a
I, I
question?
honestly don't care no more, bro. I honestly don't
Can
care
I ask you a
because
question?
I really feel like at the end of the day, you can't discount whether you like somebody or not. You
I'm not
can't
even discounting
discount
that.
what
I'm not
that
discounting.
lady felt. It's a whole lot that went on behind the scenes and that was left on the cutting room floor that we did not see. You cannot discount someone's
But
experiences
what if it
on how
wasn't
they
though?
were treated and what them make them feel like. That's like if I tell you something or I make you feel a certain type of way. We were all that way this weekend in this group. What your experience was, what your experience, whether if that's what we meant it or not. But I can't tell you what you experienced and what you felt was wrong, good, bad, or indifferent. And to sit up here and act like what that lady experienced and how she felt to just diminish it as if it's nothing, then that's wrong. I can sign up to come on the show and be petty and be everything else. You know what I'm saying? I can sign up for a show to do that. I don't have to sign up. I don't have to sign up to be what I perceived to be calling me a monkey. I don't have to sign. I don't think she signed up for that. And if, in her opinion, it
So
came across to her as a
what
being
I
a
think that you
racist
understand is
comment,
this.
then that you can't take that away from her. And I think what
So
y'all are sitting up here
Nola,
doing
Nola, no, no, no,
is
no,
diminishing her
wait.
experience, and that's not
I'm here
right.
with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. But what I think you understand is this. At that time, when she said that I typed in LOL or left my ass off on Instagram, that monkey did come up. That's
Listen,
facts.
listen.
So
It's good.
now,
Deb,
listen,
I'm
listen,
not
listen.
arguing. Listen, I'm
Hold
not
on.
arguing that with you.
But
I
wait, I
know
listen
that
to what you
that
said.
happens. But when you listen, like you say, Evelyn grew up in
Can
the
you hear what I'm
Bronx. You grew
saying?
up
No,
in
I
New
heard
York.
you
You
say. Can you
grew
hear
up
what I'm
around
saying?
black people.
Can
When
you hear
you
what I'm
looked
saying? I heard what you
before
said.
you hit sin and you saw that and you knew you was talking about that black woman,
It wasn't
your
about
ass should
that. It
change
wasn't
it.
about that. It wasn't
No.
about that. It wasn't about that. The fact was that she did laugh my ass off, and it was nobody thinks that shit all the time. Like, are you comfortable with your post?
That to me, so
Or are
Deb,
you
that was
comfortable with your
wrong. And
post?
listen to what I said
I'm comfortable
earlier.
with everything I post. If I post it, I
No, I
mean
said,
it 100% and I'm gonna stand on
I
it.
said, are you comfortable with your post?
Huh?
Are you conscious about what you post?
I am. Listen, I take my time because I make sure I know I make grammatical errors. I know in Russian I misspell words. I read what I post. Anytime I post something positive, I meant it. Anytime I post something talking shit, I meant it. And I wanted you to come on my post and tell me something about it. Because guess what? I'm going. Matter of fact, not only am I going to put it, I'm gonna put your name on it if it's for you.
But Nola, can I
Because
just
I
ask
stand
you?
on what I say.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not trying to. Like I said, my experience as a black woman is
She
going to be
knows
my
better.
experience,
Like
and
let's not give her. If y'all can't give OG no grace, then
no, I
Evelyn
said it
shouldn't
was
get no
Oh
grace
wrong.
either.
no, I can
She
give
No, I
know
OG.
said it
I
was
better.
can give
wrong.
OG grace. I can give OG grace. But my thing is
I
this:
said it was wrong.
don't take down everybody because you feel a certain type of way. That's my thing. I'm sorry, Cindy. My
I
thing
just
is
want to
this:
say really
don't.
quickly. I just want to
Okay, I'm
ask
sorry.
Nola really quickly. Like I know it was wrong. I said it was wrong way earlier, like an hour ago. But I just wanted to ask, as far as I understand. Look, what we experience as individuals It's our experience, and no, it should not be discounted. However, would you sign up for 2 more seasons of that?
Listen, let me tell you, I wouldn't sign up for reality TV at all,
But
Cindy,
she
Me
did
because
though.
neither.
I'm not going to play with
Me
people like
neither.
that.
But
But you
she
know what?
did though.
But guess what? She might have signed up thinking she could make a difference. Or you know what? She wanted to retire from football. We don't know what her check looked like. We don't know what her bank account about. It's a
But
lot of
She
people
then it's
who
a
told us
privilege.
listen,
on the
listen.
podcast.
It's a lot of people who go to jobs
She told us on the
every day
podcast.
that smile and act like they got prospects when they don't,
Nola, she told
and
us
they
on the
miserable,
podcast.
but they have to do that job.
She told us
Right.
on the podcast, Nola. So there's
But
no
what have we seen her
confusion.
do? That's what I just.
Nothing.
It's a lot of people who
Because
say they have prospects and they don't. But I'm
Nola,
not going to tell the world, hey, I really
Nola,
don't have nothing else I could go on and get. You know
Nola,
what I'm saying? For some people, it's
Nola,
embarrassing. For some people, it's a
Nola.
pride thing.
But
I
then
get
would you?
it,
But then
Nola.
would you go
No,
back?
Can you
Like,
hear
listen,
me
are
I'm
now?
you
not
Can you
going
hear
to
saying
me
go
now,
okay.
please?
No,
backwards?
I don't
I
believe she
get it.
should
I
have.
get it. I
But
get it. I
why
get
should
it.
she be the one to step away? Like to
Because she
me,
did.
her,
She
her
did.
stepping away would be like, okay, I'm gonna walk away, even though y'all were the one giving me
So
the
why does
treatment.
everybody have to
And
be
you
the
have some people
representation
who feel,
of
and you have
racism
some
because of
people who
her?
feel like I'm not gonna let you run me away from this opportunity, which is what you wanted to do.
Right.
Why does everybody have to be the representation of racism because of her?
I didn't say everybody had to be the representation of
So
racism
the
because of
so
her.
the same
But what
question
I'm
that you
saying is,
asked
it's
me,
not far-fetched. It is not
Nola,
far-fetched for her to have the
Nola.
wish to
Wait,
do.
stop. I heard what you said, but my thing is this: the same question that you asked, and reverse it. Why? Because the reality is that no one, to me, in my personal opinion, even from our conversation she was having today, no one should have to be the representation of racism from OG. OG cannot even explain to herself why this was colorism. On the show, she started talking about featureism. So is it
Well, we explained
featureism
to you
or
what the
colorism?
futurism was. You know what I'm
So
saying? We explained that there. You are choosing not to see it.
are we all have to deal with this because of how we look?
Maybe for you, it's not a reality, so you don't get it. You know what I'm
You ain't got
saying?
the features that she
I'm
has.
just, I'm just, no, I listen, I don't have the features she have, but I have instinctly black features, and I've been in rooms and
I do
situations
too.
where I have been treated like her
I
by
have to.
what was
I
I
supposed
have
to
have
be
to.
the
to.
quote unquote
It don't matter
popular
about your
pretty girl.
features. It's because
All
you're a
I'm
black
saying is
person.
you can't. But listen, I've been treated in rooms in situations
I have
I
to.
have
with
to.
girls
And I
that
have
keep
features
in
like
my color,
Kristen.
but they had the wet and go wash and wavy hair, but
Right.
Nola.
and slimmer noses. That's
Nola.
featureism, which is also a part of
Nola.
colorism. That's what I'm saying. You're
Nola.
choosing not to understand because you just don't
Nola.
like her, and that's
Nola.
fine. You cannot
I
like
have this
somebody, but
Nola. I have the same features that Kristen has.
objective about it.
Nola. I have the same features that Kristen has. And I still experience the same things. So what OG was saying, she's talking about her own experience. We all have our own experiences. OG
But I just
cannot
think
make us
don't discount her
OG
experiences and
cannot
don't sit
make
up here
us
and act
all
like
feel.
Evelyn should just get away with her
Nobody's
It
saying
bullshit
ain't
and
that.
about
not all this
Nobody's
bullshit
saying
because
that.
it's not
she's
about
Shawnee's
Evelyn.
friend
It's
and
not
she
about
been
Evelyn.
here.
No, it's
Nobody
not about
said
Evelyn.
Y'all
that.
have made several excuses for this woman tonight. Like, please don't
No.
play in my face.
But
Please don't play in my face.
we're not even talking about we're not talking about Evelyn right now. We're talking about Kristen and her features as a black person.
And her
Are we
features
not
as a
allowed?
black woman or as
Are
a
we
period,
not
when you
allowed?
look at
Hear what I'm
what
saying.
was
Hear what I'm saying.
considered pretty
Hear what I'm saying.
before today's
Nola,
standard, she has those features.
Nola, are we not allowed to be black people and have our own features?
I never said that. I never said
So
that.
then why is Kristen's features not better than OG's? That's a personal problem. That's not a
She
Kristen
didn't
problem
say
or
that
anybody's
Kristen's
problem.
features was better than hers. What are you
She said
talking about? She
she
said
called
that's why
she
she
called
felt like
Kristen
Kristen was more
she called
acceptable
Kristen's problem
because she had more
a
of the
fact of
European
colorism.
American features. You not when you
No, she
wasn't listening
called
to
Kristen's
understand, you was
problem.
listening to condemn.
She called Kristen's problem a part of colorism. Then she changed it to featureism. It's so many layers of what she was saying that she never said until
But
that
if
was happening.
but
So
if you
what I
wasn't
cannot
listening to get an
what I
understanding,
cannot do
then you
what I
wouldn't
do is this.
understand.
No, what you can understand is this. I've been across all these words, and me and Busy go through this all the time. Y'all, light skinned people and dark skinned people go through all these things. People in the middle go through stuff all the time because they don't believe you are black, you white. It don't matter. They don't give a damn. But nobody gives a damn. So it's a black problem. It's not a feature. It's not a color. It's a problem. It's a black problem.
And
because
also, let me just say,
and people have to understand the fact that just because your color went through something, don't mean other colors went through stuff. We all go through things, but the reality is that if we all decide to talk about it, then we can get somewhere. But going against the other doesn't work anywhere.
But again, I just want to say to to the point of what Nola was saying, that like we were quote unquote defending her. I wasn't defending her. I was answering your question. You said
we never defended her.
No, I'm saying y'all been justifying all night. Y'all been criticizing OG and been justifying and making it like, oh, that because if you wasn't justifying it, then it would be nothing about, oh, Evelyn's an OG. She's flagship. So she should get these privileges. She should be able to go print. She's Shawnee friend, so she's gonna get access to that. Just because
that's her friend, Nola.
If that does not give her a right to see somebody's fucking contract.
Nola, if you're my friend, I have a show.
If you're my friend, then we doing business. Well, I consider you my friend. I consider you my brother, and we doing business. If we doing business with somebody else,
if I get a show, you think I'm gonna give you no privileges?
Let me just finish.
If I have a show,
it's about integrity.
Right. But
at some point in time, I don't care how much a show is paying you. Your integrity is everything.
But you're not hearing what I'm saying, though.
Acting or no acting, integrity, and none of them have none. So we're not gonna sit up here and persecute OG like them hoes got all the integrity in the world.
You asked the question was, why was it different? And my answer was, in response to that, was because it is different. She was a newbie. Any other newbie on any other reality show gets treated the same way. I was not condoning that behavior. I was not saying it's okay. Okay, I'm just telling you I was just answering the question. So don't.
But if it comes down to a friendship, though.
So Deb, hold on. So for me as a black woman, you're not going to tell me that I'm going to, go for Evelyn more than I'm going to go for my race of people. I'm just explaining to you as a business overall. I'm not saying that I'm condoning what the decisions were in moving forward with, how they treated or mistreated, OG. What I'm saying is we're years past her being on the cast. We're years past all of this. As a business, you want to move on as a business. Any other discriminatory behavior that is happening in, like I said, a regular 9 to 5,
right? We
don't even know the outcome of that. We only know this is because these people keep speaking on it. If she just wanted to, like I said, you know what, I was discriminated against. This is how I felt. This has affected my quote unquote mental health, or how I make a living. She has to fight her own fight, just like I would if I fought against the company that I work for. What I'm saying is that I'm not discounting her experience, but in a business sense and an overall show sense, you can't just say that what these people did was wrong, which was wrong. But you have to look at it from a business person's perspective. I want to
but I'm done. I have nothing else. I'm really done.
I want to ask a question to you, Nola.
I'm so good.
Nola, I got a question for you. Let's say I have my own show, right? Mm-hmm. Am I going to show favoritism towards you if you want to show me?
You shouldn't.
Would I do it?
He would.
I would do it every day. Literally, this weekend, have I not done that?
Show favoritism towards me?
Towards you, absolutely, I have. You know that.
I didn't feel like you were showing me favoritism.
I showed you major favoritism. Like, I love you to the point I would do that. If I had a show where I could put you on it, I'm going to show you favoritism, period.
Exactly.
Well,
that's what friends do.
No, I didn't take it as favoritism. I just took it as we were getting to know each other.
We'll talk about that.
Because I acted the same with you as I acted with everybody else.
We'll talk about this offline, but you know that I did. So we'll talk about offline, but you know that I did. Like my
No,
thing
because
is
I
this.
don't consider that other situation. Well, yeah, that's the
Listen,
offline thing. Because I don't.
the thing is this: as a person who has an opportunity to do something with their friends, they're
Yep.
going to show their friend favoritism if their friends are able to
Absolutely.
be around for that. Period. So I don't blame Shawnee for showing
Evelyn.
Evelyn favoritism because that's her friend.
Now, is it
But
right?
when but
No,
when you but
It's
when you
not
are
still,
right.
supposed to
but
be
but
a
Yeah,
Tracy,
I'm
boss,
with Cindy. It's not
understand.
right, but
when
she
you are
does it.
supposed to be
Marquise,
a
listen.
boss, that's horrible, and it speaks to your character. But you know what? She don't have any character.
Right.
But in this
I agree.
situation, it's not wrong because we understand the dynamics of those friendships.
Right.
Now, these new people that are watching the
No,
show, and
it,
I
as
understand
a
why you don't understand it.
supervisor. But guess what? Y'all want to talk about OG being wrong and being trying to bring the show down. If she was
Nobody's talking
trying
about
to bring
OG
the
being
show
wrong.
down, she
Nobody,
could have sued
nobody.
Shawney
Listen,
for
listen,
favoritism
Nola,
in the
Nola,
job
Nola,
because that's
Nola,
against
Nola,
every HR
Nola,
policy.
She could.
Nola. Nobody's talking about OG being
But
wrong.
I'm saying y'all ain't dragged them hoes not once.
We would never do it because we watching the show since the
Who?
beginning, so we would never do that.
Drag who? I'm sorry.
Vashondia or Evelyn.
Why?
Y'all for
I've
the
said
for the
many
stuff
times.
that they do, y'all have never had as much smoke for them as y'all have had for
I'm going to
OG.
drag
Y'all
OG
have
for joining a
y'all have
show.
said, "Oh, that's part of the show. It's
Listen,
part of
I'm going to
acting.
drag
It has
OG.
been pacified."
Nola, I'm going to drag OG for joining the show that she already knew that before. Did you know that before OG joined the show? Did you know that?
Of course, I know they fight,
So then why would she join a show that she already knows what's going on?
but
It doesn't make any
her
sense.
issue was never
So
about the
so
fighting.
so I'm
It was
not gonna
about the
sit
gorilla
here. I'm
emoji.
never gonna sit here and
It
think
was
that
about
OG came to this amazing show where everybody's fair. We already knew that before OG joined the show, so why would we do that now? Why?
y'all wouldn't. You right there. Y'all have a good night. I love
It
y'all.
never it doesn't make any sense.
You right. You right. I love y'all. Good night.
I'm about to call you in a minute. But
Look,
that's
you
my
know,
point. Like we know how the show goes. We've been
exactly.
watching for since the beginning, so we know this. We would never think that OG's going to come to the show, and she's all automatically going to be like the girl on the show.
No.
Never.
And again, like, you know, and just with all of them, I don't want any black woman treated, you know,
Right.
poorly. But you
Right.
know, again, I wouldn't go on one of those kind of like trashy shows to have that be
Right.
an issue. Now,
Right.
you know, OG's issues were completely separate than the gripes of, you know, the other women that have been on the show.
Right.
And again, I'm not discounting her experience, and I'm again, and I just find it so interesting that the people that really dislike a Tammy or an Evelyn or Shawnee or whatever, any
Mhm.
of the OGs, that when they really dislike them, it don't
Mhm.
they can't see the fuller picture of what I was saying. Is that I'm looking at the show overall, right?
Right.
I'm looking at the franchise overall. I'm looking at the show overall. I'm not seeing one particular piece. If
Well,
you know,
can I ask you a
I
question,
feel it.
Cindy?
Yeah.
Now, if you join Basketball Wives next season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you expecting to be hazed?
Yes. I mean,
That's that's all I'm
of any
saying.
of these housewives
That's all
or reality shows, I'm expecting to be hazed. Now, I also expect to
amazing.
be I also expect to be fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
I'm
I
a, I'm
expect
a,
to be
I'm a
fly.
come in hot.
I
You
was gonna
might
say
try to haze me,
fly.
but you ain't gonna be able to haze me very well.
Exactly. But so Deb, what I'm saying is, I know it's a show based on designer clothes,
Hmm.
looks, all that stuff. I'm not going to come on there and wear stuff from Ross, right? I
Right,
I'm not going to come on a show that does that. Now, I'm not, but that doesn't mean that I'm excusing poor behavior. But I expect
right,
quote unquote
right,
poor behavior from
right.
these shows, and that's all I was saying. I don't understand
I think
why.
we're saying the same thing.
Right. I don't understand why those ladies didn't understand that. Like I
Yeah.
feel like yes, if you have a valid case to go on and do that, then go on and address it. But I'm not gonna come on a show for 3 seasons when I feel like and again, like what Nola was saying, I don't know her personal situation. I might be like, you know what? Yeah, bitch, you're not going to run me off the show. Excuse my French.
Right.
You're not going to run me off the show. But again, I wouldn't even sign up for a show that I feel I'm going to be run off of. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I wouldn't even relate to the women. Like, I just wouldn't sign up for that. Now, that being said, does that excuse people,
Absolutely not.
treating her badly? Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
It does not excuse that, and that it shouldn't. But again, am I also going to be talking about it 3-4 years later?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
I would.
I wouldn't. I would deal with
I
it.
remember when we were her ass up off this show,
Well,
and then she came back again. I would do it, but I mean that's
right,
me.
but I would deal with it in the courts. I would deal with it and get my money, whatever was owed to me.
Right.
For my quote unquote pain and suffering, and I would deal with it. Now, if you're trying to change the quote unquote whole reality TV show genre, it's not going to change it, because people do sign on for like the mindless,
Whatever they want to do.
Yeah, like they the mindless.
They don't mind hazing people, and like we cannot stop that.
Gagging it all, like it just happens every season. With Drew has been on ATL for what? This is her second season.
Second season, and we still hearing for breaking up Derwin and Melody.
We're also giving her a hard time for her looks and her weaves. Now, from her first season,
I think she looks amazing on the show. Like I never give her right. Like,
well, no, Drew's first season.
I'm just like, I'm mad that she broke up Derwin and Melody.
No. I'm not talking about.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying is her wig.
But that's still two different types of hazing too. It's like,
right, it's a different.
You have your own thing. I have my own thing.
Right, and I think it depends on the cast members.
Because I'm mad about Derwin and Melody.
I understand that. I understand, but taking it away from the game and bringing it back to Roja, like her wigs were a mess. This second season.
Oh, she had bad wigs.
The first season, Drew.
I did not see the wigs. So I don't know.
We drug her from the moon and back to the earth and back to the moon.
I never knew that.
And then they improved. Like Kenya talked about her wigs. They all talked about the wigs, honey.
That's how the reality shows
that's
go.
how it works.
Yeah.
But she did not then say, you know what? You are lighter than me, and it's a colorism thing. Now, granted, I'm not trying to say, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. I'm just saying that overall on these shows, that's how it is. I really obviously don't believe that OG had the best experience on the Basketball Wives. I just feel like I said
I'm sick of OG.
Well, I just said from hours ago.
I'm just tired of OG because of the bullshit.
Well,
and I'm gonna just be honest, like I'm just tired of the bullshit of OG coming on talking about stuff that is causing issues. It's like, girl, you left the show, but you still are desperate to be back on the show.
Yeah, but to Nola's point, it's not like we're saying like she was quote unquote purposely trying to ruin the show. But when I feel like
nobody thinks that, but now I feel like now you are. I feel like now she is.
Well, I feel like when things didn't go her way, then she just shifted gears to something else. Now, I'm not saying I don't know this lady. I don't know any of those ladies. Actually.
I don't even know her.
So it's just kind of like either we're gonna focus on this show or the show is gonna go away. At this point, and I know you're gonna disagree with me, but at this point, I would rather the show end than keep having to talk about this situation. Like,
no, I agree with you on that. I actually agree with you on that.
Like, just let's let it end. It
takes away the fun from the show.
Right. It's taken away from the fun of or the purpose of the show, which was supposed to be about, like kind of
Basketball Wives.
Yeah.
OG was not even a basketball wife, so like why were you even here?
He was a basketball girlfriend because Kwame.
No, Kwame. I thought Kwame was a football player.
He was a basketball player, but overseas. Yeah. She was a football player. He was a basketball player, So she was a basketball girlfriend. And, I don't know what's going on.
She's like, and that's all he wants is me. And he going to have me. And this is me. And this is, I'm like, nobody even wants him. So you can have him.
Exactly. And her point is, at least I can keep a man. Yes, girl. But he's also younger than you.
A man who's working overseas, that's not a hard man to get.
Well, No, but even so, that is her
A
man.
man,
He
a
he
basketball
did
player
want
that's
her.
working overseas. I'm gonna tell you because I know personally, it's not hard to get a man that plays basketball overseas, especially
Agreed.
when you live
Agreed.
in the United States while they're overseas. It's not hard. So
Agreed.
she's not what she's bragging about is not like a thing.
Yes,
I know.
but once
I know that
again,
for a
but
fact.
but once again, I like I said before, I just feel like her personality, and it has nothing to do with her looks. I don't think she's a horrible looking
Nothing with her
woman.
look.
I feel like is that attitude and her perception of what she was going into, I don't think lined up. And that's all I was trying to
On
say.
I'm saying
The-
that because that's what she was bragging about on the interview with Carlos King.
well, she bragged about it on the show too. So
She was like, "These men don't want y'all because you are afters," and like she was just really dragging them down. Like,
right.
so are we not going to talk about body shaming? Like, are we not going to talk
But I
about?
just feel like that's part of her self-esteem, and I don't want to take away from her experience
And
because
that's fine, but
her,
I mean, there is a thing called body shaming.
of
That-
course, and
And like, so we're
there's a
letting
thing called,
OG get away with all this stuff,
well,
and
there's also a
then
thing called slut shaming, and I think
she's
that's
slut
part of,
shaming him too.
well, that's what I'm saying. I think they go back and forth, and women go back and
She
forth.
slut shames them a lot.
She does, but that's the thing. She can because that's what they are to her. I mean, that's what it
But I'm
is.
just,
It is
I
what it
guess my
is.
thing is it's like, so all the things that she says is okay, but what they're saying is not okay.
And that's my problem as well. If
Like
you
she
want to, if
slut
you want to
shames them
dish
a
it,
lot.
I understand, and that's my issue, and that has always been my issue with her. And I don't think that, and I think because it's under a heavier umbrella
Mm,
as a black community of
mm,
us being, saying racism, colorism, futurism, she is shielding the fact that she can't take that shade because she has, in my opinion, and especially in the last season of hers,
right,
that she has an issue with her esteem. Okay,
right. She
so
has. I don't think she has a high self esteem.
that's my point. I
I
feel
don't
like
think.
she has an issue and she has a struggle between her culture, her wanting to belong, her feeling as though she is now in America and having to conform to. I feel like she's dealing with that struggle personally. That's just my personal
And
opinion.
I will say this: like from the day one, I thought that she was a beautiful woman. Like
Me
period.
too. Me
I
too.
thought there
It
was
was just
nothing
her
wrong with her.
it was
I
just her
thought that she did
attitude.
dress bad the first season,
Yeah.
but all
And
the
the
girls did.
wigs.
So I was never looking at OG like, oh, girl, you would never be a basketball wife on this show. I was like, this our first season.
It's
You're
rough.
dressing bad. That's all that
Right.
it is.
It was
Like
dressing
how
bad.
far it's went to me, I was like, this is a lot for me. It's like none of the girls
Right.
ever done this. I
Right.
don't even know how to deal with this as a fan of the show. And like hearing her talk, like it seemed disgusting to me. It's like, well,
Yeah.
why are we still here, or why are we going to this point when we all have watched the show? And she said it on the interview with Carlos King about her being hazed. I'm like, well, you already know what it's like for the first season. So like, what was the purpose of all this?
Right. But then also I will have to say, I was a little disappointed, not a little disappointed. I was disappointed with Evelyn dragging this out because for her to keep
Oh, with that lawsuit?
right, to keep
Yeah.
postponing it, girl. Like if you're gonna sue this girl, let her get it over with and let's move on with life. Or call the thing off. Like, you don't drag this woman in there. Like she's off the show. What
Very
more do
true.
you want? Neither one of them are on the show at this point. So
Right.
just either go through with the
Well,
lawsuit
Evelyn
or
will be back next season now.
whether she is or she isn't, what does it have to do with OG? Let this woman be free of
Nothing
the
at
show.
all.
You know what I
Nothing
mean?
at all.
Like
Yeah.
they're not her beef with her was from the show. So
I think that she's trying to
don't
teach her a
drag it
lesson,
out.
though. At least she'll teach
No,
her a
it's not
lesson.
for her to teach a lesson to another black person. She's not
No, I
black.
think I'm saying I think that's what she's trying to do. I don't think that's her. She should do it.
But that's
I'm
not
saying that's
right.
what she's doing.
No, that's not right of Evelyn. You don't
Well,
teach
you know what?
a
Okay,
black woman a lesson.
so let's talk about this a little bit though. So I think that she should a little bit, and this I just thought about this though.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna just say this, and however you feel, we can go on with this. But I think that it's hard for you to pull the race card and then not let me pull it back.
Okay, but
How you feel about
really,
that?
but no, I'm sorry. So Deb, I'm always going to be for my
Oh
people and
no,
my race.
I'm not in a space where I agree or disagree. I'm just asking.
I don't. I disagree because
Okay.
you know what, Evelyn cannot be quote unquote, like you said, around a whole bunch of black folks this whole time and
Mm,
then want to fight against a black woman.
mm,
Either you are going to be on the black side because you're on the black show. Like Evelyn
mm.
ain't black. Let's just be clear. She's
Right,
not black. She's
right,
Puerto Rican. She did
right.
never said anything about any Afro Latino until the OG situation. That is
Right.
facts. We know that. And let's be clear. Okay. She's never tried to be black. So then don't try to attack a black castmate, whether we like him or not. I'm not a fan of OG. I don't like her, but do I want Evelyn then to try to quote unquote teach her a lesson? I find that offensive. I don't
Probably not
agree with
yet.
that. And I feel like she should just let that go and be done. You know, it doesn't matter whether she was, the thing that started the franchise from Miami or not. Just leave
Mm,
that lady alone and move on. I don't feel like for her to keep on postponing it, being saying stuff like she's afraid for her life years later. I don't like that, and I disagree with that. I feel like she's wrong for doing that, and I don't like that. I'm not going
mm,
to condone her behavior for that. Absolutely not. She has two black, half black children. That she should be setting a better example for.
mm,
Okay. So you don't then go back and attack this woman because quote unquote she called her on her shit. I will give that to OG. She called Evelyn on her shit. She did not back down to her, and she was the first cast member to do so. Okay. So then now don't try to prove the point with her. Like drop the shit or sue her and move on so that we don't have to keep hearing about it. I don't feel like Evelyn is in the right. I'm sorry. I don't. That's me.
I don't know if I feel I agree with OG.
Okay.
But that's my own personal opinion. So
Agree with OG. OG how?
I feel like it's a
Evelyn is
lot. I feel
suing
like it's a
her.
lot.
Evelyn
And
is
bringing
suing
up the
her
race
though.
card, makes it that way.
Yes, but Evelyn is suing her. You can't say don't approach me back. It's not like they're on a show as far as if it was
No,
100%.
I actually agree with what you're saying, but I'm just saying when it comes down to the situation,
Yeah.
I feel like OG's using this as a like a scapegoat for this situation
I don't think
because
so.
she's
I
not
feel like
black
she's
and
gonna
this and
fight and
thing.
she's not gonna back down to Evelyn. She's not going to back down.
But for me, like I don't like this because it's like she's been black all this time. To be honest, she has been. I
She
think
has.
knowing women from New York and knowing like Evelyn girls, like they been black all this time.
They
I think
haven't been black
OG
though.
might have
So
opened up
Deb,
her eyes and say that
so
she's
Deb,
not black.
she never considered herself a black woman. She's always just chosen black men, in which case put her
No,
in a lot of
I think
company
that
of
she has. I think that she has.
no,
But
she
I
hasn't.
think that OG pointing out made it a little bit different.
No, 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 no. She hasn't. The only thing
Okay.
that ticked Evelyn off was because Chad was DMing OG.
OG.
And that was the problem for her. So once again, she's in favor of the black man, but now she has to pit it against this black woman who had something to do with her man because Evelyn shouldn't be dragging this out. Now, Evelyn has had plenty of issues and mixed it up with all the other black women on the show. She's never sued them. So why would she drag it out with OG?
I think because OG's dragging out with her. This is my own
No,
personal opinion. This is my own personal opinion. I'm just saying this. I think because OG's like, oh well, I did with Chad, and I did this, and I'm the blackest woman, and this and this and this. I don't think that
not the
Evelyn.
blackest woman, the black woman. Evelyn ain't
No,
black.
no. I'm saying this versus what she's saying versus what they're dealing with. I'm not saying she's the blackest woman. I'm just saying from what I watch, I feel like it's like OG's giving like she's the blackest woman between her and Evelyn.
Mm. She is
And
blacker because she's really black.
she is, but I feel like that's unfair
What do you mean? Why?
because I feel like when it comes to New York, like you can't really choose that.
You can. That's your race. That's what you're born into.
In
What
New
do you
York,
mean?
New York is a very different place,
No,
and they
no,
are
no. I don't care
Afro.
whether it's New York or whatever. In this country, black is
I
black,
get, I got what you're saying.
Latino is Latino, white is white, Asian is
I
Asian.
totally get what you're saying. I get what you're
Okay.
saying. I do. I really do. But for me, because my family's from New York, I do know when it comes down to Latino people, like there's no difference.
Right.
So I get where she's coming from. I don't think that she's claiming to be black because I don't think I've ever heard her say that. But I think that she
But you're
understands.
categorizing her as black because she's been on shows with
Oh no,
black
I'm not.
women.
I'm first of all, I'm not categorizing her as black at all. I'm not doing that.
Okay. Okay.
I think that she thinks that she's black
No, I don't think she thinks she's black.
because of
Every
her
other
life
no,
in New
no, no.
York.
Every other time when she's talked about her past, so Deb, let's go back in the history of the show and not
Mm-hmm.
all the way back. I'm just saying overall, let's just think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, when she's talked about her experience on the show and her culture,
Mm-hmm.
when she's gone back to Brooklyn, she's talked about her family, which are
Right,
all obviously Latino people.
Latino
She
people.
brought that to the show. Like
Right.
she's not saying, look, when I go back, I'm going back to my my black girls and this. She didn't represent that at all. She represented herself as Latino the whole time. And
But I also think this.
until OG
I think that,
came on,
mhm.
was the first time that I heard her
I
say
think that OG brought
Afro
it out of
Latino.
her, but I also think that was. I think that she never thought like there was a second thought of her being black.
No,
So this is my own personal opinion. Like
right. I'm just
seriously,
telling you, I'm just telling
I'm not
you
saying
other
it's a fact.
cultures. I'm just
I'm
telling
just
you
saying
other
I think that
cultures,
with
even
how
if they
she
can
has
relate to us, that
yeah,
even if they love us, even if they can relate to us,
mm.
hashtag the Kardashians, all those
which
people,
is which is
even if
like
they love our culture.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. What
Right.
I'm saying is this. I'm saying is that I felt like she just thought she was black. Period.
No, she was
And
wrong.
and that's okay to me. Like that's okay. I just think that she thought that because of how New York is. Like my family lives in New York.
Yeah,
They
but that's not but so Deb, your family, you
I'm
can
not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
okay. Okay. I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
saying
I'm
it's
not going to
right.
give her a pass. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is, I'm not going to give Evelyn a pass,
right.
for that behavior because she's old enough. She has enough access to information
Right.
to teach herself that that is not a fact. I don't care how many black folks you have been around or how many black men you have been in or have been in you. Okay, like you are not black. You know that that's not your life experience. And like I said, hours ago, is that if you go to any other minority, any other person of color, if you ask them if they want to be black, they will say no.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's it. And I'm sorry, that's just my point. I'm not trying to take away
No,
from your point.
we're in agreement.
Okay.
I'm just saying how I think that she felt because that's what she has said.
Well, but
So I
whatever she
don't
said, it's kind of like, you know what? I don't care if you relate and that's what you are relating to by choice. You're
right.
still not that. She can never
I'm
be
not.
in the,
So
she
my
can
thing is,
never,
I'm not making excuses for this. I'm just saying this is why I think that she felt this way.
but she
So
can't even,
I get where I know where you're coming from. Everybody else, like I get it, and I
right,
think that a lot of times, like when it comes down to Evelyn, I'm like, I'm not really fighting a battle with Evelyn where
right.
she's a black person. What I do feel like is that she does have a relationship with black people, and
She
so
does. She
that's
does.
my only thing. Like
But what I'm
I don't
saying
feel like
is,
she's a black person.
okay, I get that. But what I'm saying is, what my experience is as a black woman, she could never relate. She could show empathy towards, she could listen to, she could
I don't
try
know if she can
to
relate.
learn,
I
but
don't know if she can relate.
she can't. I'm telling you, she can't. I mean, that's just like me. I have a really close friend, who's Asian American. I cannot relate to her culture. Can I appreciate it? Absolutely. Is some
I
of the
think
food
that people are that live that are in New York is a different story though. Like
Yeah.
if she lived
Well, I
anywhere
don't
else,
think so. No,
if she lived anywhere else, I will understand what you're saying. But New York is a very
no, but
different
I just
place.
can't get. I can't give her a pass as a black woman. I can't. I
And
can't do that.
I get why you're saying that. I
Yeah,
understand that part.
I really can't.
But as a Latino person that lives in New York, it's very different.
Yes, but I still have had friends that have had that experience.
Right.
They still can't send me an ape emoji. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I feel like we're gonna keep going on and on.
Let's go to this ape emoji. And I've said this multiple times.
I heard it. I don't
When
want to bring it up. No, no, no.
I looked this up on my
I saw it
Instagram,
too. I saw it too.
I did see that as that when
I
she
saw it
did
too.
LOL, it came on my Instagram.
But again,
So
like what? But
I
again,
don't
what?
think that she did that wrong.
But she did, because like as Prosperity Thick Girl said, and as Nola said, and as I know, as you
Am I
know,
missing
me
this?
personally, like you have a choice. You don't
You
choose
do have a
ever.
choice.
You don't choose the ape emoji. You don't choose a monkey or ape. You're a non-black person, so you cannot ever choose that and then disguise that and say
I
it
don't think
was
that
a
she
joke.
was thinking that at all.
She knew better. She
I
did
don't
know
think she was
better.
thinking.
She did know better, so Deb. That's like me calling her, Rosa. I don't think she would appreciate that.
I get where you're coming from.
Do you understand
For
what I'm
me
saying?
personally, I just don't think that she did that on purpose.
I
That's my
think
own
she
personal
did.
opinion.
I understand that, but let me
Now
just give you the.
we are able to agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree, because, like I said, if I know for a fact any other, Latinx person, I
Mm,
know what, if I say, "Oh, are you gonna go, home and have, rice and frijoles?" Why
mm.
would I say that as a black person?
I don't
Only
even know what that
common
is.
sense. What? It's beans and rice. But
Oh,
you know,
I didn't know what it was.
or if I saw her and they said, "Hey, this is Evelyn," I go, "Hola." Come on, as a black
The thing
woman,
is, she
you
has
know
a lot of
that was
respect for
sweet.
black people. So, like, why would she do this now?
She's been doing that though. That's the whole point. Like I said, you
Before
can't
this,
benefit,
before this.
but you can't benefit from black folks
So
and
you
your.
think Evelyn being racist?
I don't say that. I'm just saying other races, there are certain things you cannot do towards that race. We know that they are derogatory.
But I'm asking, like, before this, you seen her do other racist stuff?
I feel like, no, I don't feel like she has done other racist stuff blatantly in this way. But
Mm.
like I said, I don't know this woman. I don't know what's
Like,
on the cutting room
I know
floor.
her ceiling, but I know that a lot of us say those type
But
of things as well.
no, but that doesn't not make it right. And I'm just
And
saying, on
it doesn't make it right at all. But I know I've heard a
well, when
lot of us say
CC,
that.
yes, but that's still wrong.
Right.
When CC and OG came on, that behavior was wrong. So she didn't have to exhibit that behavior before, because there wasn't an Asian person of Asian descent on the show. There wasn't
Mm.
a quote unquote real African on the show. There were black people on the show. Okay, so she didn't have to exhibit that behavior.
I just think
So
you gotta know New Yorkers, like, they say some shit that you probably should not say.
right.
My family's from New York, so I kind of get it. But it's no excuse. Like should never the shit said she should never say. I understand that
Thank
part,
you. And that's the
but
point. I think that's the point that we've all been
yeah,
trying to make. And
I
that
just think but I also think that you have to understand where she's coming from, where she's from, because they do it
no,
all the time.
no, I
So
don't care.
it's not right, but it also is a part of their culture from New York,
But so Deb,
because they have a different culture where there's people from everywhere that are live there, and
yeah, but
nobody
so
says
Deb, you
anything.
have to understand the point of what the other women
No, no,
were
no.
saying earlier too. No, no,
I
no,
got you
no.
on that.
Let me
I got
finish.
you on
Let
that.
me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
The point of the fact is, it doesn't matter. And like I said earlier, it doesn't matter what
Mm,
part of the country you grew
right,
up in and were raised on. You have a platform now, right? You know that
right.
you
Well, I
are on
understand.
national TV. And
Right.
so even if that's your personal feelings, we as viewers don't have to see that behavior exhibited, right? So
I don't think that's always true.
what?
I
Why?
think that she should be able to make her mistakes on national television.
No.
Let people say, "Hey, you know what? This is not right."
But then you would have to say that about.
It's a learning experience.
No. Then you would have to say that and give the same pass to other coons and other people
Well,
that to
we
black
do.
people like
But
Kanye.
the reality is that we do.
I don't.
You may not, but people do. Kanye has been been saying stuff for a very long time. We have never canceled him until recently.
And that's a lot of problem of our community that I have a problem with. That is that the Jewish people, he lost his money in one day because the Jewish community they came together and you know, a lot of people in high places said we need to fix this. The black people keep wavering because they can't separate the music from the person. They can't separate
because we can't do it. Black people can't do it.
Right, but the truth of the matter is that, you know, what you do in life for a living, and you as an individual, as a person, as a human being, are completely different. The fact that we can't separate it from like R. Kelly and him and other people, Bill Cosby, like their behavior, it doesn't matter as a community.
But if we're giving all the people these chances, like why can't Evelyn have one?
Okay, so Deb, as a black man, really?
I'm just, and the reason why I'm saying is because I think that like something that she has said, I probably have said it sometimes too, but I didn't realize how offensive that it was. So now that I do know, like I would never say it. So, and I don't see her doing it again. Like, so I'm
not saying that, you know, we, you know, in our community, yes, you know, we have said certain things, but when but in my community, I'm never going to, and I've said, absolutely, I love fried chicken and watermelon. So what? It's delicious. It is delicious. Okay. Nobody can dispute that. Nobody can dispute that. I want some watermelon
fried chicken right now.
Thank you. But then, but if I have an Evelyn telling me that, or I have a Cece telling me that, or I have a Susie telling me that, I'm going to have a problem.
But if they learned that they shouldn't say that, like, are we still penalizing them for that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Because you've already been around black people. Your baby daddies were black.
What if we had offended
them? You should
them?
know better.
What if we offended them?
Not you and I. I'm talking about the women that they were addressing it to, like an Evelyn to a Cece, Evelyn to an OG. You've been around their people enough to know that you should know better.
I have not been around the people enough to know any of that stuff, so I would never know any of that stuff. But I don't even know. I don't even know if Evelyn has. So my thing was this: when she said it, I was really I laughed, but I was like, oh, maybe this.
It wasn't funny though. I did not laugh.
I know you did, but I'm saying I don't think that everybody knew how offensive it was, because I know that people
everybody did know at the table.
People have said Ling Ling before. So I understood that it was wrong.
Right, and it's offensive, and
it's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
She should have been held accountable, and we can't just say OG has to pay consequences.
It's not right. It's not wrong. That's true. Okay. But OG has said so many things about sex shaming and things like so. Like, where does the line get drawn?
Not worse than race. That's the line.
It's not worse than race.
It's not worse than race. No.
I don't know if that's true, because to me,
it is true.
Sex shaming is like people do it every day. It's worse to me.
Well, but
I get that you made a mistake. I get you made a mistake and said something about a race, but like you are going for years about sex shaming me.
Yeah, but the whole point is that even Evelyn,
and she never did that to OG either. She never did to OG.
Well, she couldn't do it to OG because OG has had the same man this entire time, you know.
That she knows of, but I'm just saying, my thing is this: like, she has sex shamed the shit out of her.
Who cares? Evelyn has already said all the people that she's been with. She's never been shy about that. So the whole point.
I don't think that it's about that. It's like you are shaming her though. About
who cares? She's not. She doesn't feel ashamed.
It's sex shaming.
It does. She does not feel ashamed.
Who, Evelyn?
Evelyn does not.
But I know that she doesn't, but it's still sex shaming.
Famous, it doesn't matter. She's not suing her for sex shaming her.
So she should be able to do it.
No, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is Evelyn is okay with the choices that she has made.
Right,
That's how her
right,
famous
right.
line that right. So let's just
Yeah.
agree on that. Her famous line on the
So she's
show
okay with it.
in any franchise of reality TV is
So because she's okay with
that
it,
Tammy was a non-MFer factor.
mother
Okay.
factor,
So
yes.
she's talking about that with her husband. Okay. So she's okay with it. I don't think she cares whether OG
So she
or
should be
slut
able
or
to
not.
sex shame her.
She shouldn't be. She shouldn't. Nobody should
Because
be
she not
shaming
just
any.
called her, she not just
So
commenting
that
on this
nobody
relationship.
should have to shame anybody. But what I'm
But
saying is,
she's not just commenting
this
on this
is
relationship. She commented on multiple relationships.
yes, but you cannot be a racist and you're on an all black cast.
Oh, I'm not calling her a racist at all.
Okay.
Well, let's clear this up. I'm not doing that part.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that
And don't talk about being, being some other cultures, and you ain't those cultures. You
I'm
cannot
not
listen,
I'm not talking
listen,
about any
listen.
of that.
Let
I'm
me
not talking about any
finish.
of that.
Quick. You
Okay.
cannot be Evelyn and talk about Ling Ling. You cannot be Evelyn and send
True.
monkeys. You
Even
cannot
though
be.
I think a lot of
You
us have
can't.
said those things, but I get you what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nobody has talked about her race. Now they can call her a slut all
But
they want, but they're not going to make her feel
let's go to Evelyn though.
okay.
We're allowed to say what we want to say about Evelyn. Let's take all the things out of the equation.
Yep.
The things that are being said about Evelyn, is that okay?
I don't think she cares.
It doesn't even matter if she cares or not. Is it okay?
I feel like it's fine because that's what those women do. They call each other bitches. They call each other whores, hoes. They call each other. They talk
They
about.
said that Evelyn has slept with every sports player. They say a lot of things
She
about her.
almost has.
But why is that fair to sex shame her
Because
because of that?
it's not shaming her. That's a fact. That's stating a fact. Come on, SoDeb.
So are the other things not a fact?
No, that's not a fact. You don't call somebody Ling Ling. Is Cece's name Ling Ling? Did she announce herself as Ling Ling?
She might have.
Did OG compare herself to a monkey? No, she did not. So it's different. Race is worse. Sex shaming is sex shaming.
That's
Calling
not. That's
from
not.
woman to woman, calling somebody a whore, a slut, a bitch, or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get you flagged
It's
on
not
your channel.
offensive.
It's offensive, but it's still part of the shade. You know what I'm saying? But when you start then blending that in with race, then that's an issue. My stuff is
I
about
don't think that. I don't think that there
my
was
stuff is
race.
about to die.
I think that her saying Ling Ling. A
It's
lot
wrong.
of us have said that about
No,
people.
it's wrong. Don't try to
Here,
justify it.
no, I'm not trying to. But I think a lot of us are saying that this is facts.
It doesn't
We've
matter
all,
whether
a
it's
lot of
facts
us
or
have said
not.
it.
It doesn't
So I
matter.
don't think that Evelyn should be the scapegoat for that.
But you should not be on the black show saying that. So Deb, that's the difference.
That's true, but I don't think that she should be the scapegoat of that.
It doesn't matter. She's on the black show and she's been on the black show with the black
There's
producer.
been other
as her
shows
friend.
that were black shows who have said that. So
It
this is
does
not the
not
one.
matter. It doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying that it makes. I'm not saying it makes it right.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that she's not the first person who said it.
I'm not saying that she is either.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm not going to excuse the behavior either.
I'm not excusing that either. What I'm saying is that she should not be the scapegoat of that.
Nobody says she's a scapegoat. We're talking about basketball wives. We're not talking about friends or
So we're here with that. What was the other one?
What?
What's the other thing we were talking about?
I don't know, but my stuff is about to die. My iPad's
okay. Well, my only thing is this. Okay, so with Evelyn, for me, is this. I get that she says wrong things,
right?
But to me, everybody does.
We do.
And should she be the scapegoat? Absolutely not.
No, she apologized for it, and it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying, as a black
even
woman,
with that, this was the other thing, that monkey emoji. When she posted that, I went on my Instagram and I looked up the LOL. That monkey came up.
It pop up. However, it does not.
So I don't think that she went on being like a racist, but she's a monkey.
No, she chose. So Deb, and let's agree to disagree. She chose that. She could have chose something else. Period.
She could have, but what? But if that's what she wanted to choose, like, does that make her a racist?
Yes.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. If I choose something for somebody's race, I'm not going to choose a gift of somebody pulling their eyes apart to say something about somebody Asian, right? I know what I'm doing. If I send that, I
I would
know
never
what I'm
thought about
sending.
pulling your eyes apart made me a racist with Asian people. I would never thought that.
It does.
I would have never thought that.
It's derogatory, and it's
So that to me doesn't make this a racial thing because
it does because
had you not said that,
Evelyn
I would
being
have never
around.
thought that.
So Evelyn, and I'm just gonna say this.
No, I'm just saying, like, I would never thought that.
I gotta go.
I would never thought that.
I gotta go. I'm just telling you, as some in Evelyn's position that have been around and from what you said in your description, have been around Black people so much and so long, and have considered children, in Evelyn's case, like Chad had children that was very close to her, that she had, and her kids are both half Black. Or you should know at her age, because she's not young, you should know that if you send an ape emoji of painting someone that for someone pertaining that is from Africa, that is offensive. That's a problem. It is. I understand that you don't agree.
I understand where you're coming from.
You don't agree. I understand that you don't agree, but it is. It's that's horrible to me.
I don't agree with that.
I understand. I understand that
we have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we just have to agree to disagree. It's just, you just don't do it.
And we are not going to be fighting on these YouTube streets. Well,
no, we're not. We're definitely not going to fight on these YouTube.
I just thought because when she said, I was like, okay, let me look it up. And when I looked it up, it was right. Like it really came up.
It did come up.
I actually went on today.
It's a choice.
I actually went on today to look it up. You can't even find that monkey emoji anymore.
Well, but I think because she kind of ruined that because she used it as an excuse. Because again, you don't even have to send an emoji. You could have just typed LOL and just be done with it.
That's what she typed in, though.
But then don't send the emoji. Just then to cancel out the emoji suggestion and just type LOL.
I think
it was
that
a choice.
I think it's very unfair.
I think it's a choice.
To call her a racist because she typed a certain thing. And then it came up with this monkey.
I'm not going to
excuse. I think it's very unfair.
I'm not going to excuse even microaggression.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying I think it's
even
very
against
fair.
Evelyn, I feel like she is that show.
Let me say something. Evelyn's something that I thought was wrong. I would really say it. But when it came to that, like when I looked it up, I was like, oh, she's not even lying. Like it really does come up.
Nobody said that she was lying, but what I'm saying is that
they did say she was lying. They said that she was lying.
No, they said no. The women on the panel.
They said there's no way you typing. They said there's no way you typing this in, and it just came up. They said
the women on the channel on the panel this evening said that, and I agree with them. It doesn't matter whether it came up or not.
No, I'm talking about the day that she had to address this. When she addressed it,
right?
That was true. It was very true. I looked at myself.
It did come up, but once again,
so you even know? Okay.
It did come up because, like I said, I searched it when she was talking about it. She was like, if you type it in, when they talked about it on the reunion, if you type it in, it did come up. However, I still feel like it was a choice.
It was wrong.
You don't send right, and it was wrong. So it's a choice. You as a Latin person don't send that to a Black person. That is a microaggression of racism. That's it. That's all. Period.
I can see why you feel that way. I'm just saying, to me,
if I'm
just posting something real quick, I'm gonna just post it, and this is what happened. This will happen.
That's not right. Period. No, you have to be a better.
I would never think about a racial thing if I'm not like precious about anybody. I would never think that.
She did think that because she already didn't like OG. She already didn't like her so deaf.
But I'm saying if I don't care about your race, like why would that be my mentality that, oh,
She
this is
should care
great.
about her race because she's on an all-black show. She's the only Latino on an all-black show.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying if I'm not thinking this because I don't care about race, like why would I think about this?
She should care about race. We should all care about race because people of
We
color,
should.
that's why we can't get
I'm
further.
talking about when it comes
Anyway,
to the offense of race.
we're getting off the subject, and like
When
I
it
said,
comes to the offense of race, that's what I'm saying.
I literally am at 1%, so I gotta go.
Oh, I gotta go too. I'm about to
You
go.
want to wrap it up?
Yes. Thank you guys for joining me and Cindy and the candy shop tonight.
It was the candy shop, and I just joined in.
Yeah.
It's you and the candy shop. Yep.
Make sure
And
you guys, if you have any comments about what we're talking about, put it in the comment section below. We're gonna start off air because I didn't know who disagreed on this, but we're gonna start off air. Thank you guys for joining us so much. I gotta go to bed because I gotta be at work in the morning, like early.
Oh boy.
I love you guys, and I'm out.